heard this song in like 30 years.
On the silent Rampart Street, combos play with a mambo beat. Mardi Gras mambo, mambo, mambo. Mardi Gras mambo, mambo, mambo. Mardi Gras mambo. Down in New Orleans, in good town where the cats all meet. It's the Mardi Gras mambo with a beat. They shouted cheer for the Zulu King. Truck on down with a mambo swing. Mardi Gras mambo, mambo, mambo. Mardi Gras mambo, mambo, mambo. Mardi Gras mambo. Down in New Orleans. Down in New Orleans where the blues was born, takes a cool cat to blow a horn. On the silent Rampart Street, combos play with a mambo beat. Mardi Gras mambo, mambo, mambo. Mardi Gras mambo, mambo, mambo. Mardi Gras mambo. Down in New Orleans. Mardi Gras mambo, mambo, mambo. 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 Mardi Gras mambo, mambo, mambo.
Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
When they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
Well, welcome to the chat, people. I was about to give y'all the wrong show name and everything. I've been doing so many shows lately, I forgot where the hell I was. Anyway, welcome to the chat, guys and girls. I hope y'all been having a good Saturday afternoon, good starting Saturday evening. I was just on the Author's Quill talking with two of the Writers of the Future winners. Should be an interesting. It was an interesting interview, so you can go check them back out. One was an author, one was an illustrator. We had played some other stuff besides that, so y'all can check that out as well. Tonight, we're just going to be talking about why your mama's so fucking ugly. Why is your daddy doing the neighbor? You know, things like that. Why did your kids run away from home, you know, and go live with their ugly step parents? I have no idea, so we'll have to talk about it. No, I'm just teasing. Just a good show intro. Really, been a lot going on. So Michael Hinckley's got a new show starting tonight.
Yeah, so he I sent him an invitation. He should hopefully come along soon. But I'm excited for this.
Yes, he's going to be stripped. So, I mean, I don't know if I can watch it, but maybe I can listen. I don't know if I can watch that. You know, that's just scary. He's 6'6", man, you know. I mean, a lot of Michael there to watch. A lot of ghosty. You know, he kind of looks like one of the Ghostbusters. What's that, Jacqueline? So, no, really true. He does have a new show coming on. It's Michael Hinckley Live. It'll be on following us tonight. Whatever time we end is what time he comes on. So he's in a bad spot in the fact that he'll have a good audience, but we never end on time. It's always fucking Jay's fault too.
Yeah, it is.
He always does it.
So long-winded.
You know, always goofing around doing something. I don't know. What's that? How the hell do you say that? Drulunium? Well, it sounds like a plutonium. Drulunium. I know I'm saying it wrong, but Lord have mercy. Where are you from? Oh, you are from Africa. Well, nice. You're not going to tell me where or why. You don't want to get in trouble? Okay, well, you don't have to tell us where you're from. No, we don't want to get you. There's no henchmen coming to your house or anything. Well, no, we do go in places around the world that we're probably not welcome. Well, Jay's not. I'm welcome everywhere, but, you know, and Michael's definitely not. And Sean and Leo probably drop in later, and Michael will probably be by later. We might even have some other hosts we might be adding to this show. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. We may have hosts coming and going. Jay and I will probably be just anchor hosts. Everybody else, you know, we'll see what happens. Well, I anchor all the shows, technically, all the ones that I host. But Jay's been with me now for months now doing the same thing. So it's pretty much, he's an anchor host now. All the rest of them are just hosts that join us for whatever reasons they join us. You see, he was running my show Wednesday while I was in Phoenix. Yeah, so it's just our show because it's what we do on some Wednesdays. No, he does. He hosts with Jeffrey too.
Yeah,
he didn't quit Jeffrey. He likes Jeffrey. Jeffrey's a nice guy.
Yeah, and we've done some really cool. I mean, we do different stuff than we do on these shows. We do, you know, sometimes we talk to shaman guys who do like, you know, alternate, you know, healing and spiritualisms, and I've learned quite a lot about that stuff. And you know, I always knew there was something to it, but you know, these are the kind of guys that if you get lost in the woods, they can tell you eat that plant, it'll keep you alive, and they can tell you don't eat that plant, it'll kill you. Those are the kind of guys you want to have as friends out in the wilderness.
I can tell you that because my grandpa was a coon ass, and I was in the service. But it's what's that, Rhonda? No, really. So no, my grandpa knew everything in the woods. That's how I learned how to eat these big mushrooms. What wild cherries were. He does all kind of food, and there's actually onions and garlic growing wild all over the place down here. It's insane how much of it there is. But there's a lot more stuff besides that. And then what type of trees you should be cooking with. You know, what kind of wood helps flavor your food. He knew all that shit. It was great growing up with him. And then when I was in when I joined the service, they started teaching you, there's a couple times we had to learn how to survive on our own. Well, it usually was a group of guys. And then when I went TA, when it's special forces, it was different. It was a different kind of survival training, but I was born in a fucking swamp, people.
Well, but there are some
survival training wasn't that big of a deal
out there for the civilian layperson. If they, you know, especially those people like to camp, I don't have them anymore. Most of my books they didn't make the move from Maryland to Pennsylvania, but I had an Audubon Society book on North American birds, waterfowl, mushrooms, insects.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff you can eat when you're out there. So
There's a
this
lot of
is
things you need to avoid too. So I had one on snakes. I'm very well read up on snakes. So they're good resources to get. You can still buy them if you want to go camping in anywhere. They have them for North America and Western and Eastern America. So you pick the region, and they have the books for your animals in that region.
so my last TA out, it was great because they dropped me off in basically a swamp. First out, I'm out there, I see hog tracks. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to eat good. So I made me a little snare because we're out there for 9 days, and so first out, I snare two actually in the first 2 days. So I just tied them up to a tree. I was feeding them for when I needed them, and there wasn't reason to kill them because there was no way to keep them cold.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there about 3 days, and I got all kind of berries. I got like made me a little snack bar. I had already scouted out where I had to go to get out, so I already knew where I was going, and it was only like a 6-hour hike from where I was, and I was in a good, comfortable, dry spot, even if it rained. So I said, I'll stay right here. So about 3 days in, I found two of the guys. They were already looked like little bean poles. I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? I said, well, I'll tell you what, in the morning we'll butcher one of these hogs. And that's what we did, and we managed to keep it. We packed it in so we could keep it cool. We dug a hole in the ground to keep it cool, like a refrigerator, and to keep it cold, or just to keep it cool, actually. And we ate on that hog for 2.5 days, and they were like, "Oh my god!" So the next night after that, because we had actually caught some fish, and we were eating some fish tonight. We fried them up, and I actually kind of cooked them on an open flame kind of deal, but. They were good. We cooked them up. So the next day we butchered the hogs. We knew we only had 2 days left. And man, I had him on an open pit barbecuing, smoking up the whole area. Man, it's like 5 of the platoon guys found us. They're like, we just followed this. God damn, Joe, what are you doing? I said, I'm cooking, man. Get the fuck out of here. But,
$5 a head. Who's got the beer?
so I said, all you owe me big. You know that, right? All y'all owe me big. He said, I told you the coon ass was going to do good. I told you the coon ass was going to do good. Bruce kept saying that. He's like, so we finally get back to the pickup point, and the guy reached out, he pushed him a bit. He said, are you bloated or are you full? I said, I eat good. And he turns around and looks at my commander. He goes, I told you. And he's like, so he said, I want to talk to all of y'all. And it's because the other guys they had picked up, they looked like man, prisoners of war. They were so skinny and shit. I mean, there was 78 or 70 guys 71 guys that looked emaciated. I mean, they just looked horrible. And I was like, well, I still remember Commander goes, so tell me about your trip. I said, they dropped me off. And I said, we landed in that swamp on the backside. He said, yeah, scary stuff. I said, dude, come on. I was raised in the bayou. It's a swamp. I said, what do they got? Maybe some bears, some alligators, some pigs. That's all food to me. And he started laughing. I said, no, I'm serious. It's all food to me. I said, I'll eat an alligator in a heartbeat. I said, and if there ain't nothing else, that poor bear just became dinner. So he told me,
it's amazing what y'all coon asses can do. I used to watch that show, the one where they go after the alligators, and I forget the kid's name. I think his first name is Steve, but he and his father went out and hunted alligators in the bayous of Louisiana. And this one time, this dude, the alligator they were trying to capture, they didn't actually get a good snare on him with their rope. So he dives into the water with just essentially a pocket knife he pulled out of his pocket and opened up, a lock blade, nothing longer than 4 or 5 inches. Literally jumps into the water with a 10-foot alligator and goes wham, one shot with the knife, killed the alligator. And as soon as I saw him do that, I stood up and yelled. I'm in my apartment by myself, mind you. I stood up and went, I want that guy to come find me when I get lost in the woods.
It's well, you see, it's funny for us because we all grow. So it's like you live in Pittsburgh or you live in Pennsylvania, so you were in Maryland, so you go play out by the beach or out in the woods or something. It's the same for us. It's just the swamp's what we go play in. That's what we grew up. So what we used to do? We'd go steal cement tubs, where they used to mix cement in, and make them like flatboat bottoms. We'd get poles and push our way through the swamp. Right. So I learned, like, on this trip, I was just telling you about, when I was feeding everybody, the guy goes, "Hey, man, it would be great if we could have some crawfish." I said, "You really want some crawfish?" He said, "Yes." Yeah. So here, let me show you. And I grabbed this guy's shirt and I said, "See them entrails over there from that hog?" I said, "Go stuff them in the shirt, tie it real good, squeeze it real good. Take that lattice feed, that little net from that stuff that holds your stuff in it." I said, "Tie it on top, just set it in the water and watch." I said, he went back in about 20 minutes. There must have been 2 pounds of crawfish on this thing, man.
Wow.
He pulls them out. He said, "What are we going to do with it?" I said, "We're going to cook them." "What do you mean what are we going to do with them?"
Fucking pot and boil them.
I'm making homemade pots out of wood and stuff. He's like, "What?" I said, "Don't worry about it, dude. They're crawfish." But it was fun. And I still remember coming out, I gained 3.5 pounds. Everybody else had lost at least 6. The guys with me were about even because they had come in a little later. But he was like, and I still remember my chief petty officer goes, "Well, if I got to go to combat, Joe's in my platoon." And the commander started saying, "Yeah, we're keeping him with us."
You're exactly right.
He said, my commander goes, "Not only does he know how to get it, he knows how to cook it." I said, "That's," and he said, "Is that thanks to you?" I said, "That's all thanks to my grandpa." I said, "He taught me all of that shit." He said, "You got to be prepared in the world." It was one of his things. He was the one who taught me that you could take a Volkswagen Beetle and float it across a bayou. So we'd get going really fast, and then you hit it.
You can float. They used to come with accessories you could buy. There was like, and I swear to God, for the front wheels, there were 2 fins that would steer. You put them on the thing, they stayed in one direction. So you would, when you turn the wheels, the car would steer. And then they had paddles, like it was like chains with paddles on it for the rear wheel that spun. And so what you would do is you would detach these once you went into the water, and that would give you power to go forward. And then the steering wheel would, with the different fins, would allow you to steer through the.
All we would do is we'd see like the canal. We wanted to get on the side. He'd back up, go really fast. Ooh, we'd hit the water and just glide across the other water. Hit the other side and come out. It's like, you're crazy, man.
The Volkswagen thing could do the same thing.
Y'all wonder why I'm crazy. See how I was raised? I was raised by crazy people. Oh my God, he was.
That's crazy. Not a surprise. Those vehicles were actually designed to do that.
Think about it. This man let me drive a Cutlass 442 at 10 years old across the longest bridge in the world, the longest bridge over water in the world. I was like, and I was 10. I could have killed us all. He had total faith. Well, I used to drive the stuff around on our land. I'd drive the pickup truck and stuff like that around. And I was pretty good at it eventually. By the time I was 12, I was driving. He never drove. He'd go to sleep. And I'd drive across the bridges. And I loved it. That 442 was badass.
Yeah.
Even at 12, that thing was badass. I mean, it's only 2 doors, too. I mean, but it was just.
Yeah, but it's compared to today's cars, I mean, it's like.
Oh, yeah, it's a monster car. Yeah.
Car today.
Covered in steel all over the place.
Our Camry's like 1/3 the size of that vehicle.
Yeah, the inside of that car would be like 1.5 size of my Camry's inside, at least.
Yeah.
And, but, big bold leather seats in it. They were all white and stuff. But what is that, Janny Lee? No, that's Michael. That's one we were just telling you. He's got a show after this one now. Yeah, the guy we were talking about said he's going to be stripping. That's who we were talking about. Yes. Yes.
It's called Michael Angley's Brass Pole Show. You can't miss it. Debuts tonight, right after this.
Wait, who you want to see strip? You don't want to see me strip. Trust me. You'd go blind. You'd be like, "Oh my God, please stop. Oh, no. What do you mean? What I think about Trump? First off, tell me where you're from. I don't like people ask me questions without they tell me where they're from. Oh, Los Angeles? Well, hey, LA, I'll be out there in 54 days. Well, 54 days is the gala, so probably 47 days. Yes, I'll be out there. Yes, I won't be doing any pole dancing. That's Michael's job.
Yeah, Michael's good at it. I mean, he's.
I'll be all suited up. Yeah, so. But anyway, what was your question before we got all sidetracked on that? Oh, what do we think? You mean all of us? What do we think about Trump's job right now? If I had to give him a grade 1 to 10, I'd give him 8.65, 8.75, somewhere around there.
I don't know if I can give him that.
Maybe you sexy bastard.
Hey, Shawnee.
Hey, what's up? What time do y'all?
Oh, we started early tonight because Mike's got a new show following us. I'm trying to even out the time. Yeah, we started at 6:45, I think.
Oh,
well, Jay and I started at 6:45.
I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, Jay and I, yes. But so we're gonna actually move the show down a little bit in the near future after I talk to the Queen, and and see what we want to do. After I fucked her show up all day today, she's not happy with me. I was like, look at this. I was like Pac-Man in there, man. No, I give him. Somehow I got in the wrong room. That's all. So I was going live, but I was in the wrong place.
Is that Leah?
I was in Squad
Tim.
Live.
Yay.
So no, that's what I'm saying. No, I was just in
Tim.
the wrong place. Hey, Tim, what's up, babe? No, I was in the wrong place.
Hey,
Well, so now you got
man.
another opinion too. We just got asked how we're going to score Trump for his first 3 weeks. I'm giving him an 8.65. You know what? I'll make it easy. I'll just say 8.5. How's that? I was going to say 8.65. And y'all be all
That's
complicated.
pretty
Yeah,
close.
I
actually.
can't give him that much. I give him
Okay.
kudos. He's come out of the gate running. He's got his feet to the pavement. That's for sure. But I'm not sure everything
does
that
have a but.
he's doing it the correct way or necessarily the legal way. So I think a lot of the things he's put into executive order are going to be reversed. Maybe 40-50% of them. But right now it looks good. But there could be some legal ramifications on some of the things that just I don't think he's done in the correct way. And I think they're going to be reversed. I give him a 5.
Ooh, Jay, they're going to come for you, buddy. They're coming for you, man. Go ahead.
I only think 50% of them are going to go through. That's
Oh,
so
my God.
50%
I'm
is
with you. Go
fine.
ahead. No, go ahead. You can't take it back now. Go ahead, Michael.
I don't have a problem with anything Trump is doing. I think he's being, proactive and even inventive, as he's moving along. I think he's motivated. But believe it or not, I think he's motivated by America and how he loves this country. People don't like him because
money, and I think he's motivated
the core of Trump isn't likable. But I think that he's reduced the rhetoric, the things that I didn't like about him. Just all the bullcrap talking, is gone. I mean, he's not doing it anymore. He's not bragging. He's not being like that. It starts to seep out sometimes. But then
he brags still. He does.
He catches himself,
You're right.
But he used to be really bad. But I think he's doing good, man. I think he's doing a job.
I need a number 1 to 10. Come on, I need a number. Give me a number.
I'll give him an 8.
8. Okay, so I gave him the highest so far. Tim, go ahead, man. What you think?
5, 8.
Tim,
I'm
go.
in a similar boat. I'm thinking 7.5, 8. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's, there is some legal questionability, but honestly, I'm starting to wonder why it's legally questionable. Is it because it's affecting people poorly who are getting maybe kickbacks? Who knows? I mean, these are a bunch of lawmakers that are
I think some of the things that he's done the Supreme Court's going to say that they're constitutionally the president can't do. So those things are going to get reversed. And I think it's going to be 50%, but he's got the right intent. He's saying the right things. He's stirring the pot of shit and it's starting to overflow right now. And it's a good thing. And the waste that Elon Musk, if he's really found this, if this is legit, it's shocking. There's a huge shock.
Sean says he's giving him a 15, man.
No, I give him an 8.8, Joe. I got to be.
Oh, Sean got the highest. I had 8.5. Sean got 8.8. All right.
I give him 8.8.
Sean win the chocolate chip
he
cookies.
He learned from 2016 to 2020. And it took him 4 years without being a president, knowing what he had to do to get it right. Okay. Sure, there is more transparency going on, which I like. I like what Pete does with what he does, and it just seems like it gave a whole brand new fresh of air for everybody, and everybody's happy. Not heavy. I'm happy, but happy. I don't know, dude. I think he's doing a fantastic job. I think the rest of his cabinet members and the people ourselves are really giving the Democrats back, for those 4 years they destroyed us, dude. With the people and his cabinet, my God, they're just like going all out.
Some of them are going to really get out there and bust it. So right now, they've only been able to challenge 3 of his executive orders. And the Democrats today said they may not challenge anymore. So you may be way off on that number.
That's interesting.
It's
it is interesting.
So
but that's just the Democrats.
What's happened is a couple of big Democrats have come out and done this. All right, we're going to get executive. We're going to back as we're going to go after this executive office. Okay, the problem is, USAID, no, the country wants that. The FBI, no, the country wants that. CIA, no, the country wants that. So everything the Democrats want to hate on him for, the country voted for us to take it out. So the problem for him is, the problem for the courts are, you can't fight the people, because when it gets to the Supreme Court, they will side with the people. That's their job. So that's what they're going to do. And I think even some of the Democrats will side with him. So, and more, I mean, come on, Obama came out and said he was doing a decent job. Obama's crew, they call him, the big 100,000, 200,000 voting block he has, said they would vote for Trump. So, I mean, I think he's doing a good job.
Again, they said they would vote for him again. Yeah. That's
well, no, and they said that they're backing what he's doing right now. They're not the only ones. There's been a lot of other Democrats that have come out and said, look, you know what? We're kind of good with what you're doing right now. We're not going to really fight this, because right now there's not a fight for them. What can they fight? I mean, yes, I do agree the birth thing is going to get overturned no matter what, because the 14th Amendment is pretty clear on what born birthrights are. So I think that one's going to get overturned. But the one with the buyouts, they've already told them they could go ahead and even extend the time on the birthright. I mean, on the buyouts, to even let more people get bought out. So they're going for that. So that means they're going to go ahead and let all the firings go. They're fighting him on.
Well, that's what the buyout is.
Back on, but he said,
have a job.
He told the court, I ain't turning the money back on. You'll have to take me to the Supreme Court, because I'm not turning it back on. We can't do an audit if I have to turn the money back on. So he told them, no, in the court, you're not supposed to tell a court no, but the court shouldn't be intervening on this, because technically he does control the purse strings. He's the president. If he wants an audit, it's his right to audit somebody. If he says that our budget is too big and we're spending too much on federal help, it's his right.
You got the IRS, which is not a government agency. It is a private agency that works for the U.S. government, and it charges all of us income tax. Who audits the auditors?
And that's what's going on right now. The auditors are being audited. Just like we were talking earlier.
No. I think Elon Musk is auditing the auditor.
That's what we're saying right now. That's what we're talking about.
No one has ever done this. No one has ever looked at the IRS's books in the 50, 60, 70 years since they've had it.
I've been calling for an audit, and you guys would laugh at me. And I said, this government needs to be audited. It'll never happen. Hey, look what's happening. Look what's happening. And look what we're finding out. Right? This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Hey,
imagine when they start really digging deeper,
Hey, Jay, let me ask you a question. What is it about Trump that puts you on the fence with him?
Oh, it's just his executive orders. I think he's written up so many of them so quickly that I don't think everyone's had a chance to review what they all, the actual legal writing is in each one of them. But I think once the Supreme Court has a chance to review all of them, and there's been like almost 400 of them, I think they're going to challenge quite a few of them, maybe even up to half or more.
Well, it's like your boss at your job. Do you review everything your boss does? I mean, and give your
the checks and balances. That's what they're for. That's what the Senate.
You can have the opinion, but I mean, Trump's had 4 years.
You can't do that. You can't do this, and you can't do that. That's the checks and balances.
Trump has had 4 years to sit there and think about what he wants to do. So that's why he knew what he wanted to do the first day. He was ready. Before that, he's making deals. He's stopping wars, getting hostages released, and there's so much going on. It's very hard even to keep track.
He was saying that in his campaign too.
Yes, and I think he needs to be a little bit more careful with the way he speaks. He may invoke an actual war without the intention.
I don't think careful is his nature, and I think that he knows what he's doing. I think the last 4 years have been a travesty. I think the Democratic Party needs to heal. They need to get rid of that liberalism in there that made them go out of control the last 4 years. With no checks, no nothing, out of control, man, And then you got Fetterman. He's a moderate. You need more people like that who are more towards the center. Otherwise, Democratic Party's not going to survive.
No, Democratic Party's in deep trouble right now. They really are. And where it's all going to end up, where it's all going to go, anybody's best bet right now. But if you go, okay, so this is what's been going on in the Democrat Party. We'll do a quickie. So I've been paying attention to the Democrat lead, especially the big ones, and according to the new guy that just took over, who's a complete idiot, but we'll talk about that in a second. So the big leaders are saying to Schumer and him, knock it off. You're challenging Trump on the wrong things. Challenging them on any of this audit stuff makes us look like we're part of the problem. He said you can't argue because he's finding today another $91 billion, not $1 million, people, another $91 billion. So, I mean, so we are now at something like $1.6 trillion they have found in what, a week? In a fucking week, people. What is he going to find in a month? I mean, this is out the fact that, think about this. If he gets to 3 or 4 trillion, I mean, literally, they can pay off the deficit in 10 years. 10 years and boom, no deficit, which means for all of us, especially the ones going on retirement, it's a whole hell of a lot more money and no income tax. So I mean, it's win-win.
If he goes and abolishes the IRS, what does that mean for us, all of us who have paid?
He can't abolish the IRS until he abolishes income tax, but he can downsize.
Do we get paid our back money? Do we get whatever tax they took from us?
Country can't do that because it's already been spent. It's already been spent. You can't get money back.
But they're clearly wasting trillions and trillions of dollars on just stupid horse shit.
But that's what they're saying. But see, that's what we're getting to right now. So, $4 trillion. Hey, Heidi, how you doing? So, if he gets up to $4 trillion turned around, and in 10 years, that's 40 trillion. Deficit's around 36, and they can even start working that down. So, in about 9 years, 8 years, it's completely paid off. While that's going on, they're doing away with income tax a little. Every 2 years, this much comes off, that much comes off. By the time we get to no more deficit, there is no more income tax. Everybody in this fucking country will be losing their fucking mind. I mean, when you go buy a house, 1%. Even if you got bad credit, 1%. I mean, it'll be outrageous. You're going to go buy a car, it'll be about a third of what it is right now. Life would be so much nicer.
Going back to
they were in maybe the 60s or 70s
prices or something.
Yeah, it would be like a flashback all the way back, because that's how much that deficit weighs on us. I mean, we're only paying on the interest anyway, so that's how much it weighs on us. Getting rid of that, and then think about that after it's gone, that $4 trillion now is extra money. So the country's showing a surplus. Holy shit! And if they've been doing what Trump had in plans, that $4 trillion would be more like $10 trillion. A $10 trillion surplus. We could bankrupt everybody in the world if we wanted to and take over without even have to fire a shot.
With the amount of fraud that they're finding with this USAID and other programs, they could easily give every American who's paid taxes in the last, say, 10 years, $1 million each tax free, and it wouldn't make a dent in those trillions of dollars.
But it wouldn't help us any. That's the problem.
Wouldn't hurt either, would it?
No, it would. It would actually hurt, because your Coke that was now $2.65 will now be $35.65. So it would hurt. Unfortunately, things adjust when we get too much. When the economy gets too heated, gets too good. Even though some prices are going down, big ticket items are going to go up because they know you can afford it, and you're going to go show off your money because you got it. Big business ain't stupid. That's why they still around. It's and humans, unfortunately, are tribalistic and like to follow. If the world would become a little bit more individualized, it would be a little bit easier on everybody. But you get too many of these everybody falls in line and agrees with, like liberals. They just agree with stupid shit. Oh wait, we're on this. So Omar's going to be one of your new senators, huh? I heard she's going to be either her or Tim Walz.
Oh yeah, I heard he threw his hat in the ring.
Yes, but he said if he couldn't win for Michigan, he wanted to run for Pennsylvania. It's right around.
He actually did during this presidential race. He's not going to get it.
You're a liar, Joe.
No, that's what he said. Don't hate on me.
You know that Catholic holiday's coming up down there in New Orleans pretty soon. You better go to confessions before you walk in the streets, dude. Just saying that.
Look, I'm not even allowed in a church, man. Them bitches bless and fire every time I walk into one of them.
Yeah, every time I walk past the holy water, it starts to boil.
Yeah, the priest that says, he says, put your hand in holy water, do the cross. So I stuck my fingers in the holy water, started boiling, and I just went. He said, "You can leave now." I was like, "Okay."
My brother did that. Yeah, the funeral, real quick story. Well, my aunt died, and me, my brother, and my cousin, we never go to church. Okay, and you know how the priest goes down the aisle throwing holy water on everybody?
Yeah.
Oh my God, my cousin and my brother were going like they were possessed. It was funnier than hell.
That's
In
hilarious.
front of the whole family. I was like, God damn. Man,
Like you get their asses beaten. Yeah, my dad didn't take their religious very, very, very serious when we were at church. Other than that, they didn't give a shit. But
Yeah, it was weird. My
at
dad
church,
was a physicist and did top secret work with the Navy. Yet he was extremely religious. It was the strangest thing. I kept thinking
a
inside my
lot
inner
of physicists,
dialogue, like,
a lot of scientists are religious.
Yeah.
It is kind of a conflict, but they seem to work it out. Jeremy, Jeremy, you from New Orleans? What y'all doing down there today? What do you mean you know me? You know me from where? Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I can't mention his name on air, but yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he almost cooks as well as I do. Not quite, but he's close, man.
yeah, almost.
Yes, he's I know how much he makes a year as a chef. Thank you very much. He's a friend of mine. I know. Trust me. It's yeah. Tell him I said hi. What are you after? No, just give him a hug. Just walk up, hug him, kiss him on the cheek, and say, "Hey, big boy sent you this." He'll know what it's about. You should squeeze his ass a little bit too while you're doing it. You do that, he'll definitely know who you're talking about. He'll be like, "Oh shit, have you been hanging out with Jeff?" Every first thing come out of his mouth. You didn't know we did this? Of course we do this.
Oh, no.
You thought it was an alien show? No, that's Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday at 6. Yeah, we talk about aliens all the time. Well, what do you want? I mean, if it's something we can talk about, we will.
Yeah.
Well, this show's about nothing, everything, and anything. So bring it out.
What do you mean? Why do I believe extraterrestrials are real? Is that what you're asking me?
Okay.
There's a lot of reasons, but the best one is I actually fucking seen one up close in my face. So ever since then, I was kind of convinced. Yeah, you know, when the Gray's standing there going, you're kind of like, maybe they're not full of shit.
Keeps cutting out on my end.
Something's getting
Did you
in.
shake
My
your hand?
answer is very simply math. It's mathematically impossible.
And they updated that. You know what? They just
in
updated
this
that.
universe. It's impossible. And then on top of that, I have degrees in photography and videography, and I've seen quite a few legitimate videos, and I'm convinced that those videos showed legitimate live aliens. So they're there. They're here. I've seen them. Joe's seen them.
So what was it? Last night we talked about the new planet they found with the radio signal coming off of it. Coherent radio signal, which means
I
it's
read
radio
something about that. That was that's around like one of the Keplers or something like that.
I didn't see on the one article I was reading didn't have where it just said it was a good amount of light years. I think it was like 90 light years or something, but 91. But there was two things they found, so I don't want to confuse them. There was a new planet they found out past Neptune, or like Michael says, his anus. But regardless, it was out there somewhere. And he just likes to say that word, I think.
It's one of my favorite words.
Something.
Absolutely.
So they found a new planet out there, so we want to see what that's about. And then, of course, they think there's another planet besides that one out there, roaming around in the Oort cloud or the Kepler belt. No, I think it's in the Oort cloud. Anyway, you get in all that fucking ice out there. It's ridiculous.
Now,
did anybody? Just say like curiosity killed the cat here.
Satisfaction.
How can I hear that noise from that so-called planet they found? Where can I go?
Oh, wait, you want to hear noises from planets? Just go online or go on YouTube even. Type in planetary sounds. I use them for Halloween. There are some creepy out of 1950 sound and shit. Ooh, this shit is creepy as hell, man.
Yeah,
I'll see if I can find some when we go to break. But yeah, no, they got some good ones, and then they've got some you hit. It sounds like somebody's like doing a Morse code or something. And I remember when I asked a friend of mine, I was going to say an archaeologist, astrologist, no, neither one of those work, an astronomist about it. I said, what do you think it is? He said, oh no, he said that's a pulsar. He says that's part of the pulse. And then there's a lot of things making radio sounds out there, unfortunately. You know, didn't come to find out.
Neutron stars all the time. They go.
You know this
sounds. Yeah.
When you point a thing at a radio telescope at at a nebula, it's just full of sounds. It's
Yeah.
hey guys, look, the universe is singing. Maybe you don't want to hear what they're singing, but it's singing.
Yeah, it sure is.
Would you say it would sound like all these noises if you would put in comparison to whales when they're all together?
You're in the ballpark. It's not. It's a little more complex than that.
There's a link in the private chat for the sounds of our planets in this solar system: Venus, Earth, Mars, etc., so on.
There's some of them that are better than others. I can't remember if it's Saturn or Jupiter. One of them is a really cool sound, and there's a few of them out there because I used to play them all the time. I love playing them for Halloween because it creeps people out. And people are like, oh. Okay,
it's very noisy in space, man. You know what the
most
noisy ass
place
was? What was it, Apollo 11, when they were going to the dark side of the moon, and they finally released that radio signal that they were listening to for the hour.
Yeah.
And when it was all dark, it sounded like tens of thousands of people screaming in terror. It's exactly.
Yeah, when are we going to break?
It was definitely not.
Yeah, we already went past the top, didn't we?
No, we're a 2-hour show. We're doing it at the half hour or the hour.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna go at the hour on this one.
Okay.
It's there's one I'm looking for that's like a minute. Sound? Yeah, there's a Jupiter sound I look for that's a minute and 92 seconds, or not 92 seconds.
That's an interesting thing, Heidi. About the frequencies with Mothman and Bigfoot. I didn't know that Mothman had frequencies.
Oh yeah, wow. Dude, that's crazy. I've heard someone record something somewhere. I forget where, but
I want to see it. I want to hear it,
Mothman,
and I want you to prove it that it came from a Mothman or a Bigfoot.
Oh, I'd love to see that proof too.
Not those bullcrap ITC devices either. They're just useless junk. I don't even know why people try to use them.
Well, it's funny Sean mentioned that, because it did actually sound like one of the planet sounds that you hear from NASA. That's what it reminded me of.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of sounds. I mean, even on our planet, there's a lot of sounds.
Yeah,
just I've actually heard sounds that they have like in California, the Earth moving.
Well,
is it true that Uranus makes constant
all 9
sounds?
planets? It looks like there's one for Mars. There's one for. Do they have one for Earth? Well,
it's true that Uranus makes constant farting sounds.
3 minutes for Jupiter.
You know when you're listening to Uranus.
Let me see if they have it.
Let's just rename the damn thing.
Yeah, they got Ernest is up here too. Yeah, you want to hear it? Let's go to Ernest. Where's Ernest? There it is.
Put a G in front of it. Uranus.
Really? That's interesting.
Looks like an Easter egg almost, but not egg. Very roundy.
Well, that's Ernest. Sounds like breaking ice.
It's a toilet. It's a toilet flushing.
Yeah.
It's an outer space toilet.
Almost sounds like natal sounds too.
It's a bidet.
That's Neptune.
Now, not everybody will know what. Not everybody might know what a bidet is, Mike.
I know what a bidet is.
I wasn't talking about the crew. I was talking about people listening.
No, Saturn is a real weird one.
Yeah, I think Saturn. It's either Saturn or Jupiter growls. There's a growly kind of tone to it.
That sounds like there's a bunch of angels there, dude.
I'm not sure which one growls.
It's like water dripping on a 50-gallon drum or something.
Yeah. It's I'm gonna have to pull out my personal collection. Yeah, okay. Yep.
Wow, that's scary.
Found it. That's Saturday.
That's Saturday.
I'm not even looking, and I know it's Saturday. Look, I was on 2 pages over.
Like, yeah, that's definitely Halloween right there.
Let me play this. It's in the queue for Halloween, along with a couple other ones we found that are pretty good. Now, there's one that actually sounds like an opera starting.
Here's Pluto.
Yeah. Train's coming.
Pluto don't exist no more.
Well, there's that. That was kind of spooky.
Yeah, it was fun.
Right.
I agree, Heidi. I agree.
Screaming in my
It's
ear.
an
Must
ice
be fun.
ball. Play that one from the moon, man, when they were going to the dark side of the moon. That thing.
Maybe that's the
great.
one that growls.
It was such an unsettling sound
Yeah.
that you just can't get it out of your head once you hear it.
Oh, that one from Saturn. That one from Saturn was pretty creepy.
Yeah, that would be.
I
Yeah,
got,
Saturn's
I got
weird.
the I got the full. I think I got the full length version of that one on a queue somewhere. It's let me see if I still got it in here. It might be here still. Let's see. But I think it's nope. That ain't the one I wanted, is it? Is this the one I want? Yes, this is the one I want.
Wouldn't it be crazy if they deciphered these things? There's
Well,
actually
it is.
words behind that noise.
Well, I
It
mean,
is
each one
weird.
changes your pattern too. I know that much. Each planet makes it. The sound vibrations that they record off their radio frequencies. If you put them on a drum head with sand, each planet's radio frequency makes a
The
specific
little
geometric pattern.
what are those called? Yeah.
It's
The,
like a
the
mandala,
little
but
Indian
it's
religion has a name.
it's a
Mandala.
radio
Thank
frequency
you.
pattern. It's really weird.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
All right, let's see. I think this was Saturn again, but this one might be a little bit longer. Bleep. It just starts out with it sounds like like a 1950s movie, sci-fi movie.
We're going to see Leslie
Starts
Nielsen.
building up to it. Which I don't know which probe this is going by. I'd have to see which one is it.
Oh, I can't remember the name of it.
Cassini. That's Cassini's. This is.
Is it
This
Cassini?
is actually yes, Cassini. That's what it says here. Well, Saturn's going to lose its rings in our lifetime.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I
it's
said,
gonna be
by the
very
end of this month or the end of this year. or
Isn't
something
that
like
crazy?
Let's go.
How the hell can they do that? How can they lose the rings?
I guess they're ice and they're melting. I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck.
Either that
Some
or
of
they're
it's rock being blown
It's
away by
glo-
clouds.
global warming and climate change.
Yeah, they're going to collide into the planet.
Climate change. Losing the rings.
And this is just Saturn now. Just
Maybe all the
look at that.
Lysol that's
Rocks
been
come
building
flying.
up in our solar system from spraying it is got to take rings.
Right.
Absolutely.
What does this planet say? Leave me the fuck alone. Don't come here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Jeff.
There are over 260
Halloween night
large
You can
areas
tell
of
you
Earth
can tell the
planet-sized balls
grandbabies.
there,
I
too.
remember when there was rings around that son of a bitch.
Oh, this is its moons talking.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Oh, so its
Yeah.
moons are talking back to the planet.
It has
It's
over
mice.
265.
One day
The moon's made of cheese. It's all
Sounds
mice.
like a bunch of little
Figure it out.
crabs. Sounds like crabs.
It's made of cheese.
Yeah, it's crabs.
It's little moons talking
Put
to the
some, put some
planet.
solve on that. It's crab. It's all
And look, there
crab.
goes the planet talking back to it.
The moon's got crabs.
There
So
it is.
Cassini
I
picked up a
think that's the sound I
conversation
was
between the
thinking of.
moons and the planet. That's weird. Okay, that was just weird.
Yeah,
I've never heard it talking
There's
to.
some-
Play
yeah,
the
there's
one
some
from
really
the
cool
moon,
stuff
man.
off
The
Cassini
one
probe.
where
It was
the
awesome.
way they went to the dark side of the moon is all screaming. That was crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
Crazy. Also, the sounds coming from the bottom of the ocean, like those mechanical noise that they don't know
Oh
what the hell it is.
shit, that would be creepy noises to hear.
that's what I'm saying. It's weird sounds. So they've got a guy who goes and gets in tall mountains and takes readings of sounds. There's all kind of weird sounds. It's not just the wind blowing. You hear things that you have no idea what it could possibly be. You know, it's not, and it doesn't really sound anything human. You know, well, I mean, I say human. I mean, this could have been a sound on our planet for thousands or even millions of years that we've just never heard before. We are a noisy ass planet, a noisy ass species. So it's, you know, we might be muffling that sounds. It's like when we used to talk about those rods. The only thing those rods could have been was something that was living in the atmosphere, and we don't see them at all anymore.
Rock
Nobody-
and roll, man. You know what I mean?
Nobody's pictured a
If it's
rod.
too loud, you're too old.
I know, but nobody's got a picture of a rod in what, 2 decades?
It's because they found out the reason was that the technology at the time of the video technology was making fast-moving bugs appear to be rods, and then
Yeah, but that's fine. That's fine for those ones that were this big, but the ones that were sizes of airplanes, that doesn't work. That's something else.
I think those are all hoaxes.
No, those weren't hoaxes. Some of them were legit. Some of them were just legit pictures taken by people. One guy was at the airport. He was just taking a picture of his wife, and it was in the background. He wasn't doing anything. He wasn't a ufologist. Wasn't in any of this shit.
I still think it's just a fast moving bug.
And then,
The
I mean,
nature of
there's probably 100,000 more pictures of rods out there. So, and most of them aren't small. I mean, most of the ones I've seen are 5 feet or longer. And there's always 2 of them.
If they're recorded on VHS, Beta, or M2 magnetic carrier, I'm going to say that it's an anomaly of that CCE, CCD chip tube technology.
Yeah, but there's lots of pictures of them.
What about picking them rods up on high definition cameras?
If it's high definition film cameras, then that's a different thing altogether. It was proven through several video captures of rods that the nature of the way videotape was recorded elongated just a standard fast moving bug. And instead of a bug being like this, it elongated 2 and 3 times. So where now it has its wings have replicated. So it looks like it has 8 sets of wings or 12 sets of wings.
That's fine. But when you're using a high speed Kodak camera with 4 or 800 Kodak film in it, that's not going to happen, but you still get them.
If those are legit, on
no
film,
bug's going to fly fast enough to make that do that on that height.
Yeah, if those rods are on film, then that's a legit rod, and I would like to see that footage. Absolutely.
Oh no, there's lots of them were taken by camera.
Almost all the footage I've always been videotaped.
Not the ones I've seen. The ones we got on the website are taken by camera. What was it, Sean?
I would go and look at all my pictures of rods.
I'm not a big fan of rods. I got to be honest with you.
Negatives. I mean, I can't prove it's not on the film without looking at a negative.
I'm not a big fan of rods, but on a couple of occasions, because they had they look like weird squid. The couple of them I've seen had big eyes up in the front, and they had little flipper things on the back. That's not a bug. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's not a bug. And it just looked like there was something almost translucent living inside our atmosphere, which we can't even rule out because we don't know.
Well, you kind of described ship. Who's that hacker guy who got into NORAD, something like that? And he said he found these different files, and they described one of the ships, and they were cigar shaped with the little nubs that look like eyes on little hemispheres, little domes around the tips of both sides of the lead. In fact, that's the same thing 2 Air Force SPs told me about. It was secondhand, but they said, a couple of guys saw one at the end of the Vandenberg runway a few years back. And it was weird because they stepped into, I think we discussed it when you were on there with me, Joe, that they stepped into a field. And suddenly, it's like one of those stoplights that you can only see once you're right up upon it. But it was like kind of lensing effect. It's like they stepped around the corner and they just looked up and suddenly this sucker was there. It was like it just came into view, like they passed through a field. And they described that exact craft.
Yeah, there's just some weird pictures of them that are kind of hard to explain away. And the rectangular type craft or the bigger ones so there's a cigar shaped craft up there that's pretty big, and sometimes you'll see it'll have a X amount of bumps on top or X amount of bumps on the bottom, and for a long time it was befuddling because sometimes there'd be one up front or one in the back, one underneath, 2 here, 3 there, and every now and then you'd see them with 8, and then we realized what it was just a landing place for saucers. It was how they held the saucers. It was basically a mini carrier, and the saucer would just land in its place, and each place it landed would make a bump because it would be the top of the saucer. And somebody finally got a picture of them in Portland, Oregon, and it was a lot easier for us to decipher after that. I was like, well, look at this.
There's a really good video. I think it's from 51 or something like that, where you see one of the rods or the cigars not only launching a saucer, but recovering one within the same time frame. Very cool.
It is. It's just
that thing right. That link.
It's the problem nowadays is trying to keep anything online is getting impossible. If you don't have it on your own servers, it's almost impossible to keep up with. It's
but look, AI is destroying everything that the paranormal investigators went through and getting that evidence on camera, video, whatever. People are just going to look at it now and say, "Hey, this is AI." You know what I mean? So that
I've been
AI,
running into that myself. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
So that's why if you work for iCar, you would know how to handle this. So the reason why we tell people to carry a digital camera and an analog camera is because analog cameras, especially a starboard analog camera that's sealed, is great evidence. So you take it with your digital camera or your video camera or both, and then you take it with your other camera, or you take it with your starboard camera first, because this is a 35 millimeter camera. In case it has to be opened, so you take it to the place to have the film developed. Now you've got a witness that this case was closed until it was brought there. Then they open the case, they develop the film. That film's got the same thing that your other cameras have got. You've got something, because now there's no way they can say you were faking it, because you've got the guy from the camera place saying, no, it was closed when they brought it here.
right.
And then you open it, so there's no way to tamper with the film whatsoever. It's the reason we do it. There's actually several reasons we do a lot of things, because you know, one of the most important things in doing research is being able to prove what you're saying,
Right.
or taking away the places where they can say, oh, it's a fake or it's a hoax. Well, if I just use my phone, of course, if I'm using my digital phone, anything I do on my digital phone, you can say it's fake, because I can take a picture of us right now, right here, take it off, send it onto my computer, rearrange a few things, put us all standing underneath or sitting underneath an alien spacecraft, or watching it take us away, or put us all in a room with an alien spacecraft in there underground, you know, just the way you can only see our heads. And they'll
Hey,
be like, well,
Heidi.
no.
Heidi says, I think it's dragons. Call me a mofo crazy, but I'll say it again and again. How do you come up with dragons, Heidi? How do you come up with dragons? That's interesting.
It's actually pterodactyls. People are seeing them all over the place. They're seeing them around the Carolinas. They're seeing them in Utah. They have pictures, videos of pterodactyls flying through the air, you know. And when you look at them, they look like they have natural movement. They don't look like they're made of, some kind of plastic or something, you know. So, and then, you know, not long ago, they troops during the war in the 1800s and all that, they would shoot these things, and they even posed with pictures later on with these things, you know.
I saw a picture of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you examine those pictures, they're not fake. They're not AI. You know, I mean, you could actually see. You can look into the picture and all the little bits. You know, as a photographer, you don't need too much technology to really look in and see if something was cut in or not. You know, but interesting stuff. I mean, I haven't seen one. But like, you know, where I live, there's lakes that are 600 feet deep, and there was a monster in the lake. Like you'd hear, Lake Champlain has one, and there's a few.
Yeah.
And I think these are just, these are glacier lakes. These are 600 feet deep. Come on, man. You've got, entities down there that probably survived, and then maybe now they didn't. There's one story in Seneca Lake where this serpent appeared in front of a boat, one of these boats that went up and down the lake, and then they ran it down. And they basically killed it. People were cheering or whatever, but they didn't know. But there's been pictures since of this thing, one like it picking its head out of the water. So the mysteries are fading away, I think, though, as time goes on. The survivability too, especially. But look at the dense woods and whatever. You could have a little enclave of pterodactyls. It wouldn't be weird.
Okay. Heidi just said, because I asked her about why she thinks it's dragons, and she came back and said they were black, shadowy flying things that I couldn't see with my naked eye, but could through the lens. I think they live in between the snow-capped Rocky Mountains and the Flatrians or the foothill. That's interesting. She goes,
yeah. Dragons could always be interdimensional too. Hey, look, I see Preston Dennett. Look. So I'm looking up alien things, weird alien things, right? And they got Preston Dennett on here. I'm going to have to get Preston in trouble when I see him next time.
he'll like to hear that. Look, searching for
Yeah,
aliens.
so I actually got weird alien rod pics near airport, and Preston comes up. No name underneath it, by the way, just his face. See if I click on his face. The story of J-Rod, alien said to have survived UFO crash. Oh, now they say he's J-Rod, man. Oh my God, Preston. Oh my God, Preston. I have to talk to him.
Yeah. I like Preston.
He's a nice
The
guy.
way I heard it about J-Rod, he wasn't a crash victim. He was a hostage.
I don't think you can keep a gray hostage. I don't think we have the ability to do those kind of things.
For lack of a better term, he was rather voluntarily lent to the U.S. I don't know if it was U.S. Navy or U.S. Air Force, but he was doing work at least within the Nellis range, somewhere between Site 4 and Area 51.
So, Claire. Okay, Claire. We said I thought you were somebody else. No. Oh, an alien that's been around for the Greys have only been around in our society or in what we can see in our history about 3,000 to 4,000 years. But the humans and reptilians have been here since the creation of man. That's what the legends say, and that's what the myths say.
About the Anunnaki and all those guys.
Yeah, so yeah, everybody always wants to put names on them, but the problem with names is you're not going to be able to pronounce an alien name. I don't even know if it even comes out on the same pitch as we do. They speak differently than we do, and most aliens today are telepathic, and most all of ones contacting humans are telepathic.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? They're giving you a picture of the word Anunnaki, or are they giving you a picture of place? How do you know you're interpreting what they say as Anunnaki, or somebody did? Somewhere along the line, someone interpreted that as Anunnaki. Why, when, and how? We don't know because none of us were there.
Yep.
Right.
It's not just them. There's several other names they use for aliens. And when you stop and think about it, because the Greys, when you ask a contactee about the Greys name, they always say the same thing. Greys say we can't. There's no way for us to say it. It's not speakable in the human language. That's what they say. Now we all do the same thing. Like everybody gives them names ourselves, like just surnames or whatever names. And like Bob the alien behind me, they all get names, but those are human names. They're not. Anunnaki is a human word, not an alien word. So
my understanding was it was communicated to them as that word, like they actually
right. But my
went primitive and said, "Here's how you say the word."
Well, actually, the word Anunnaki is actually a Sumerian word, and it's a combination of two words. Naki is like nativity. It literally means to the genetic offspring of particular couple, like father, husband, children. It's basically what it means. And Anu was the chief god within the Sumerian chief gods list, and so therefore Anunnaki means of the sons of Anu,
children of the gods.
Children of the gods.
Oh,
that's what it means.
Okay, so it was the name.
And that's what the first incarnation of man was the children of the gods. But they weren't us. We're the second or third, depending on who's you want to go by. We're either the second or the third, because the reptilians hadn't interfered yet with the Anunnaki's children. They were still just that race, that subservient race that was doing what they were told. It wasn't until later
that the Anunnaki finished was called Adamu, and Adamu is from the Sumerian meaning first ones, and in the Anunnaki's opinion, that was the first sample of humans that were allowed to breed unchecked. In other words, when they died, they didn't have to be cloned.
And that still wasn't us.
That is a rabbit hole, Heidi. Definitely a rabbit hole.
And until the reptilians intervened, it was still just that race. It wasn't us.
Mm-hmm.
So the Anunnaki's children didn't have a reptilian section in their brain. It's probably why they were so docile and so laid back. It wasn't until later when the reptilians intervened that they became, well, let's just say less docile. I'll leave it at that. And that was the start of today's race, the race that we are today. And I say the start of it because it looks like there might have been some other step-ins, especially with the O-negative blood and all. It does look like there was some other pop-ins here and there. You know, I can't be 100% sure, but it does seem like there was. Because I'm not sure where the O negative blood came from. Did it come from aliens? Did it come from Gaia? Where the hell did it come from?
Well, it's one of two big mysteries. You know, the first one is we go from Homo habilis to Homo erectus. There's no transitional ape from Homo habilis. And then a million years goes by. You have Homo habilis does simple things, simple tricks. They make simple adobe huts for housing or live in caves. And they use sticks and rocks for weapons and gathering food. Then if there's a million-year gap, there's no transitional apes. And then Homo erectus is on the scene, and they build elaborate houses, sometimes 2- and 3-level high houses on stilts near water, and they use flinted napped glasses into spears and knives, and use large animals for food and shelter. That's I mean, it's like a flash, boom! It's like a switch was turned on. There's no transition for either one of these two things. Where do they come from? We don't know. We can't find them. That's the mystery.
I have O negative blood. I mean, I got O negative.
That's because you're special. You're not like the peeps that we talking to, man.
Yeah, we talked about that last night, right?
These primates that we call
you had to take a blood test before you got married.
Yeah, we did, and that's the thing. So, you know, there's some things that make us different from that species. That when we talk about the Anunnaki, that's just not the same species. They were just a starter species, and really, the real Anunnaki couldn't breathe the atmosphere on this planet anyway. That's why they created the race. And that way it wasn't the original race. If you go by Stitchin's work, the original race was a race just like the Anunnaki that could breathe the air on the planet, but they got uppity and told the other guys, you know, F you, we're not going to plow the fields. We're not going to dig for gold. We're the same as you are, except we can breathe the atmosphere. You want us to kick you off the fucking planet? Straighten up. And they created what the Sumerians called the 7 creations of man. Mm-hmm. And there's lots, and that 7 creations of man, there's lots of variations of what we were, because they were looking for something like them, but obedient.
Something that wasn't too smart, but smart enough to do the work and follow, you know, specific orders.
Democrats.
Yeah.
The Democrats don't work, so that wouldn't have helped. We were easy what was that, Philip? No. It's just hard to say. I mean, it's not that much. There's a lot of different works when it comes to the Sumerians. So just you got to pick and choose who you want to believe. Stitchin had some issues because his original translations were poor. So later on,
he trained himself as a linguist. He's not a linguist. He got almost all of the translation wrong.
Yeah. Oh well. You know, when I seen the new one, I'd say like 50%. But things that were not everything he got wrong was even a bad thing. But some of the stuff, like when he got into Planet X, or what did they call it? What was it called back then? Now I forgot.
The Nibiru and Tiamat.
So when they got into Nibiru, he wasn't even close.
Nibiru is their planet that travels through here. Yes. Yeah.
So he's describing a planet 5 times the size of the Earth that comes within landing distance of our planet. Well, that's an impossibility. They would kill us all. The gravitational tidal forces from that planet would destroy us. We'd be like,
that's why we think the 5th planet Tiamat is destroyed from the tidal forces of something.
Yeah, well, it's probably what happened was the tidal forces from Jupiter.
That's what Jupiter's the current theory is, yes.
And Jupiter's holding it in place. And that's what people don't realize about the asteroid belt. Jupiter is holding the asteroid
belt. I'm getting a ton of distortion on the line.
It's no, you might need to reboot, babe. Sometimes it gets weird.
Mine was weird last night.
I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, go ahead. Take time. Christopher Walken. Well, that's a good name. Yeah. You're not the real Christopher Walken. So anyway, Christopher Walken, where are you from? Rhode Island. Does that place still exist? Really? Mm-hmm. I thought it was absorbed by like New York or something.
No,
Are you sure Rhode Island still exists? I want to see a driver's license, man. I think you're bullshitting me, dude.
I mean, unless it was in the Gulf of Mexico, it still exists.
Shouldn't we have a size limit on states? How little they can be. Oh man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, we just got snowed on today too, Heidi. We got a couple
Yeah.
inches out.
Oh,
Yeah,
y'all been
we-
getting some of that snow with all them chemicals in it that's gonna rot
Yeah.
your brain out.
Honest
We
to
got,
God,
we
the
got
other,
involuntarily vaccinated for the next run of COVID. Yay!
you know what? Honestly, it's a couple days ago. It was snowing here, and I'm telling you, it was like styrofoam. It wasn't real snow. Today was real snow, but
The new COVID vaccine. That's what it was.
I don't know. It's weird.
Oh. Suspect number one. I forgot I posted that today. I posted a thing on Facebook, the scene of the crime, and it's a pink elephant with all its stuffing ripped out. And then I posted a picture of Lola, the number one suspect. Her eyes roll back. All you can see is white, red things on her chest. She
I
looks like
saw
a
that.
fucking
I
demon.
saw
Yeah,
that.
she looks like a demon, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a murderous little dog killing everything you give it. Wait, Kristen. No, Lola's she's a 4.5 pound Chihuahua. Yes.
She's
But
the
she-
oldest one, right?
No, she's the youngest. She's 3, just made 3. Fiona just made 4, or just making 4. Oh, excuse me. Where's Shyrus? We all need to go to Shyrus. We all need to go to Shyrus Malloy Brown's page and tell her to come join us. No, where's that? Let me give her a heart. I'm just gonna write chicken. Chicken. All of her viewers will get mad at me now and say, "Why are you picking on me? Why are you picking on her?" Because I can. She's a friend. I can pick on her. We did a lot of work together for Alien stuff. What do you mean with my favorite alien? Bob's my favorite alien. So y'all don't really get it. See, Bob only looks like that when we're on air. When we're not on air, he turns into an alien. And he's got his own little chair right here he sits in. Yes.
I don't know, man. Trump is deporting all the aliens, so I think that.
Yeah,
Oh, you know who sent me that? Somebody sent me that damn.
I did.
Michael
like-
did it because he sent it to me too. That was fun.
Yeah,
That was fun.
that was good. Deporting aliens.
They're going.
Really, people, why are you getting these names from there? Y'all can keep it up. Y'all gonna piss Facebook off. They're gonna throw all y'all off. Y'all just going and making Facebook pages. Maybe I need to make my pages private again. Then y'all can't do that crazy shit, huh? Because they're public now. So what do you want us to talk about?
Alien.
Why Trump's such a fart head?
Pterodactyl.
How old are you? Like 8? We don't allow 8 years old to listen to this show. By the way, you need to go grab your mama's boobie and sit down or something.
Talk about vampires. One of my favorite shows to watch. What We Do in the Shadows. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, great show.
Yeah, man. Done very well, written well,
Yes.
really cutting edge, very funny, But vampires in Staten Island, love it, man. Well, there was a movie that started off, and then they spawned to the series. But yeah, I love it, man.
I need a new picture out there, people.
Z
Talk
Nation.
about it.
Ever watched Z Nation?
Yeah, I did. I've seen it.
Zombie. It's
Yeah,
pretty
like
cool.
100 years
Also
ago.
very inventive, low budget, but very inventive.
you. I didn't really
No, I thought it was low budget, but it kicked off the zombie genre.
So
Like,
I gotta whisper this.
It
I
kept
gotta
moving.
whisper this. So my 9-year-old grandson seen Logan's Run. Logan's Run the other day. He says, Gramps, what is Logan Run? I said, I'm thinking, did you watch it on cable? He said, yeah. I'm thinking, oh shit. And I'm like, did you like it? He said, yeah. Can you buy it for me? I said, no, your mom won't let me buy that for you. He said, but why? It was a lot of fun to watch. I said, yes, it was.
Yeah, there's a lot of nudity in it too.
Too many sexy girls in there.
So
boy.
I said,
Got to be over
did you see a
13.
nipple? He like, he lost it. He started giggling and laughing and shit. I said, you little demon. I said, did you tell your mama you watched that? He's like, no. He said, you can't. Then that's when he goes to calling me Big Joe. He says, you can't tell her either. I'm like,
I was in that movie. At the end, the old guy with all the cats, man. That's gonna be me. I'll be the old cackling guy with 1,000 cats.
oh yeah, he was loving everybody touching on his face and stuff.
I know, right? Touch me.
Boy, he probably ain't in the bath in 2 decades. What's that, Frank? My favorite sci-fi movie. I don't have one.
Oh.
I don't have a favorite. I mean, you can ask these guys, but I don't have a favorite.
Yeah, you have to give me a specific genre to be honest, because I have so many favorite movies.
Well, he's a favorite sci-fi.
God, man, there's so many.
Jay, what's your favorite
That's a
movie?
wide thing.
Jay, what was your favorite sci-fi movie? Your number one favorite?
And you can't say Star Trek either.
I can't pick one. There's just too many of them, and I just
see. What I just said. That's why I said I don't have one because I can't.
I mean, if you say pick a Star Trek movie, I can pick my favorite Star Trek movie. If you say pick a favorite original series or Next Generation, yes.
The original first movie I like the best is The Wrath of Khan. I just love watching him.
What's your favorite Hallmark? You know those Hallmark movies that hate men. Like there's always the one nice guy that's like the nice guy, but then all the other men are like evil. You know. And they're plotting on the men.
Hey,
it's scary. It's scary. If your woman's watching the Hallmark channel, you should sleep with one eye open. Just some early warning device.
We'll just stick Dexter on their ass. Send Dexter some gold. You know, he only works for gold, by the way.
Keep your woman happy, which may be impossible.
You can't pay the man with cash or BTC. You got to pay him with gold.
You can't keep people happy. That's up to them, not really you.
Yes. And it can't be stamped gold. It has to be metered gold so we can go beep.
So I have a theory. When you get into a relationship, do things to make them unhappy and then stop.
We got to get to a break here in a minute or two.
And then all of a sudden, they're
happy. We do actually.
But you're not doing the things that like, you know, farting while you're trying to eat breakfast and things like that, you know.
Party like it's $20.99.
Good morning, honey. You know what I mean? Do you have to do it at the table? Well, yeah, that's when I fart. Should I change my habits for you? I mean, that's my bodily function. I could die.
It's what the hell was that? People, that was weird. Whatever that was just came up my screen. Every now and then,
you got me started on Uranus. Now that's the whole theme of the show.
Hey, that wasn't my fault. That was yours.
You're playing the farting sounds of Uranus. We just can't stop it.
We were just talking about that planet past Uranus, and that's a long ways away. Is all we were talking about. It's what's that, Christopher? What are we talking about, Uranus? No, we're not talking about his actual anus. We're talking about the fucking planet Uranus. Yes, pay attention. You're getting lost in the fray, my friend.
You guys know what the Enterprise and Charmin have in common, right?
Oh God, I don't think I want to.
Here
we go.
Yeah, they both,
I don't think I want to know, man.
What is it, Jay? I was rudely interrupted by Joe.
Charmin and the USS Enterprise, what they have in commmen, they both orbit Uranus and wipe out Klingons.
Oh my God!
See, Sean, what you had to make us listen to, man. I told you.
Oh man!
I'm just reporting it. It's one of my favorite jokes of all time.
Oh my God!
Oh, dude.
Chris, no, I need drugs. Some real drugs, Chris. No, I need real drugs for this show. It's I'm thinking I may have to go back to drugs for this show. But I'm thinking it might be time for real drugs, man. You know, them kind that you're like, ooh, what's my name? No, we're getting ready to go to break.
Pick the wrong month to quit taking methamphetamines.
I need something, man. I'm just saying. I need something. I need something good, man. Something good. I know, ladies and gents, we got to go to break right quick. So I want everyone to stay tuned to whatever the hell you're listening to right now. We're listening to some kind of weird stuff right now, but we'll be back in, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes. So go get some coffee, make some breakfast, you know, not just kidding. We'll be back in 6 or 8 minutes, 6 to 8 minutes, depending on what I decide to play, what I don't decide to play. What is that Philistine? Like Philistine from like overseas, Philistine, the retardo girl?
Like David and the Goliath and the Philistines.
Anyway, Jesus, I'm gonna have to start doing drugs. I can see it. It's there's just no way around this, man.
Why did you stop?
It's just no. I'm telling you, just no way around this.
Pick the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
Right,
I'm thinking just for this show, though. That's what I'm thinking. Just for this show, I'm going to have to do it.
Right,
but anyway, guys and girls, I'm going to leave y'all with a little Mardi Gras music. We'll be back, and then we'll have a couple of promos and have some coffee and smoke some weed and pop some Xanax and do some Percocets, and I don't know, man. Smoke some more weed. Yeah, there you go. Oh, and we'll have a couple of shots of bourbon. Yeah, there we go. Let's see that round off things real good. And then we'll watch Jay spin around circles. Like, anyway, we got to get out of here. Oh, Jesus, we're going to get thrown off the air permanently. I can see it coming. Oh, man.
My grandma and your grandma were sitting by the fire. My grandma told your grandma, I'm gonna set your
This song is horrible. Listen to this song.
It's basically acapella.
I don't mean to use it. Listen to the words. It's horrible. They're murderous bitches.
Aiko one day. It's tough.
Look at my king all dressed in red. Aiko
Look
one
at my
day.
king all dressed in red.
$5, he'll kill you dead. $5,
kid, you did.
Aiko one day. Shagamofino anande. Shagamofinande. My flag boy and your flag boy sitting by the fire. My flag boy to your flag boy, I'm gonna set your flag on fire. You're talking about here now, Aiko one day. Shagamofino anande. Shagamofinande. See that guy all dressed in green? Aiko one day. He's not a man, he's a loving machine. Shagamofinande.
You're a loving machine.
Talking about here now.
That's Sean, baby.
Aiko one day. Shagamofino anande. Shagamofinande. Talking about here now. Aiko one day. Shagamofino anande. Shagamofinande.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestro, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
Hi, and thank you all for joining us today. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network.
The Church of Mavis Radio Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM, New Orleans.
Welcome to Paratruth. If you have a paranormal experience that you would like to discuss on the show, please email us at paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com. That's paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com.
Hey, what happened?
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
And woohoo! We're back. Welcome back, everyone. I hope y'all enjoyed whatever the hell that was playing just now. Brittany's a nice girl. I just talked to her. I just met her. She's been on network for a while. I just met her just recently. Matter of fact, most of the hosts are pretty good people. You know what? I still haven't met every host on this network. Shame on Miss Shell. We're going to have a talk with her, guys. We're going to have to invite her on because I haven't met everybody on the network. That's her job. So that's it. We're going to have a talk. We're going to bring Michelle on here and have a talk with her.
Yep.
That's right.
We should have all the new hosts.
Motherfuckers, y'all can't be taken off that night either.
We should have all the new hosts come on and do karaoke.
We get different
I want
hosts
to hear
from the
people
network.
do karaoke. I want to hear Jay sing karaoke. I want to hear him sing karaoke with his David Letterman voice. Come on, man. Karaoke. And the fans can choose the song. How's that?
I'm taking that fucking night off. Y'all just karaoke all y'all want. I'm taking that night off.
I want Joe to sing "Beat It," Michael Jackson. Beat it.
I'm taking that night off for sure. I'll be somewhere else. Flying somewhere.
Weird Al Yankovic version, man.
I'll have to have somebody take me out of town.
I met Weird Al in Savannah, Georgia. He was weird. It was weird, but he was very nice as well.
Oh, I'm sure it was weird.
His band was cool.
Remember Emu Phillips? Remember that comedian, Emu Phillips?
Oh,
and he would
God,
kind of talk like this. You know, he looked like Copernicus a little bit with the haircut. But I was a writer for a local magazine on Long Island, and I had reviewed this guy. He was just like, he was out there, man. I couldn't have the heart to tell him I wasn't there for him. It was the Farmingdale College, and there was a great guitarist that was there by the name of Joe Satriani. So I was there to hang out with Joe, and because he used to play at a club I used to hang out at every Wednesday, like that was his night, just like before he got famous, But I mean, he was local. He gave guitar lessons at my friend's music shop, Corette Music, which was in East Meadow, Long Island. And then Steve Vai went in and then got those lessons. And then my friend Dave ended up working for Steve Vai and all these guys. We're such a tight knit group of people, really cool people, man. But most amazing guitarists.
My brother told me about Steve Vai, and I already had heard about Robert Fripp, and I was listening to King Crimson at that time. And I was like, okay, I'll give him a shot. And I listened to Steve Vai, and I was like, he can't do half the shit that Robert Fripp does. And I listened to one song of his, and that's all I ever listened to.
Steve Vai is great. So is Joe Satriani. Also, Guthrie Govan. He's from England. Another amazing guitarist. But yeah.
I got to ask you a question. What is your honest opinion of the guitarist Alex Lifeson?
Who? Oh, Alex Lifeson?
Not the Who Rush. God, I should reach through and hit you. No,
Alex Lifeson.
Alex Lifeson from Rush. Yeah, I think one of the most underrated.
Alex Lifeson. Yeah. I mean, he's all right. Rush is a great band. I think they really relied on their amazing drummer. Without that,
they were a team.
All of them are great musicians. People who love them, hate them, man. They're all great musicians.
Speaking of Rush, Mike, do you think what was Neil Peart was the best drummer of all the drummers out there?
I think that like he was he was almost like a computer the way he played those drums. I mean, and then but also very open-minded and inventive. I think that you'd have to go long and far. Maybe Mongo there from Led Zeppelin. Another amazing drummer. John Bonham and
John Bonham is very good.
Yeah, got to meet his son Jason when he had a band called Bonham. They played through. When you hang out in those low-level clubs, you meet everybody because when they go on the solo effort, that's where they play. And it's so cool. You hang out for, I'd be there in the afternoon hanging out for the sound check so they had time to talk. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Yeah, but John Bonham, wow.
You want to hear the top three drummers, in my opinion? Top three drummers of all time: Robert Fripp, John Bonham, and Neil Peart. And now these three men have a very unique style as well. Which one of them was the first to use an acoustic and an electronic drum kit? You have
Neil Peart.
That is incorrect. You have two more choices.
The first name you said.
I'm not playing. I don't like little trivia things.
Pick one. You got John Bonham is left, and then Neil Peart, John Bonham, and
I mean, a lot of those things are arguable going back. You know, who used what and when, and like who used the first electric guitar for blues-based chords, and you know, there's a lot of confusion.
The correct answer is the first person to use an acoustic and electronic drum kit was John Bonham of Led Zeppelin, and the song is called Bonzo's Montreux.
That makes sense.
But there aren't too many bands where the drummer
he did that.
Drummers come and go.
Adopted them almost simultaneously in the late '80s.
Drummers come and go, but there aren't too many bands where the drummer goes and the band stops. You know what I mean?
You had a guy, a percussionist in Neil Peart, who collected so many. He had 250 different percussive pieces surrounding him. 250 percussion instruments surrounded that man. Some of them were electronic and digital. I mean, he had a thing called a mallet cat, which simulates marimbas and xylophones.
Well, let me ask you this:
10-minute drum solo with that instrument.
See, is Neil Peart the one that did the drum solo upside down?
I don't.
No, that was Tommy Lee did that. He had a rolling cage. Yeah. He had a rolling cage, pretty cool. That thing would roll, rolling around, you know. Wow. Good showmanship. I'm not sure how great Motley Crue really was. Ultimately, you know, they were just what they were. I think, you know, musically, they're a stripper band. I put bands in categories of stripper band, stripper music, you know, and that's really what it is. It's not like long-lived, you know, great music, and it's just stripper music, you know.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing, Michael.
Depends if you're a stripper or not.
No, it doesn't. What if you wanted to be the observer?
Like AC/DC, when Bon Scott was in the band when he was alive, was a very different band than what they turned into. With, you know, and I'm not going to take anything from Brian Johnson because he's a great performer, but they went very commercial. But whereas before they were a great rock and roll band, just a great rock and roll band, great together, you know. And a band that could use bagpipes and it sounds good. You know, that's pretty cool.
I think I've been pretty lucky in my live concert tours. I've seen Rush about 15 or 16 times. I've seen Yes about 7 or 8. I've seen Pink Floyd twice. I've seen the Moody Blues twice. I've seen Chicago twice. I've seen I've seen ZZ Top twice. A lot of really, really fantastic bands in the 80s and 90s, and I didn't get to see all of them. I haven't seen anybody from Led Zeppelin. I've seen a couple of solo acts of the guys from other bands, like I've seen two of the guys from King Crimson solo, Adrian Belew and Tony Levin, their bass player. Those guys are good. So there's a lot of good stuff out there. If you follow it, you can get some good music.
Not much into newer music these days. Me myself, you know, I mean, it's not really for me. It's not made for me, so I kind of stay away from it. You know, if you want to look for like great music, I mean, there's still great bands out there at a low level.
I mean, Iron Butterfly, believe it or not, still tours. They went around this past summer right after COVID opened up.
When I was writing, man,
they were off like 4 years, and they were like, "Hey, we're going again, yay!" When
I was an entertainment writer, we did all those. They had like 5, 6, 7 bands, you know, Glass Knight and the Pips and you know, the Village People and all that. Like they packed them all into
that would be a cool show. I'd like to see that.
But Lollapalooza always packed in a whole bunch of like no-name bands, usually with like Chili Peppers would be in it and a couple other good bands, and the rest of them were kind of out there to get exposure, you know.
Guys, I'm going to ask you this question: do you think what's his name? The one who ate a bat.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah. Do you think he did better solo or with his original Black Sabbath?
I don't like Ozzy, me personally. I don't like Black
I think
Sabbath.
he made more money solo.
I'm not really a fan.
He made better music with the band than he did solo. Most of his solo stuff, he did several albums, but it's only like one-hit wonders, most of it.
Yeah, it was more like that commercial grab. You know what I mean? Just.
I think he made much better stuff, like cohesive albums with the band that he did better than he did solo.
When he went solo, he hired a bunch of 17-year-old, 18-year-old musicians for no money.
Yeah.
And then kind of did that, which is, commendable if you want to look and lift people up. But obviously, there's no real musical intent if you're looking for players that can barely play, So I'm lucky I've known some great musicians. Hanging out in the studio, you know what I mean? You meet just amazing people that you'll never know. You'll never know them. And but at the same time, you listen to them, they're amazing. Jazz fusion bassists that could just kind of go I mean, really great finger action and things like that, But even Joe Satriani, because he's such a cool dude and he's very low key, but he's got that soul for playing. Steve Vai too. Steve Vai is more mechanical, but
he's very mathematical. Yes, I had noticed that.
Yeah, but still to play like that, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
What do you mean by mathematical music?
Well, like Bach, people like Bach because it's so mathematical. It's like it follows a certain formula. Where it's like Beethoven isn't based on mathematical themes. He uses there's a thing called a rondel that you can see in certain classical pieces, and it's usually started in the first piece, and it's this thing you'll recognize throughout the whole concert that repeats throughout each act. And there's usually 4 acts to a concert piece of that nature. Like Beethoven's Ninth has four segments to it, and there's a rondel. There's a certain theme that you hear in all 4 of those acts as the music is played through.
Yeah, music is math. Music is math, and there's websites that you can get mathematical equations out of certain notes. It's very interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, Steve Vai is mechanical. He's that.
Have you ever heard of the guy Eric Johnson who did the album Via Musicom?
I know Eric Johnson.
What do you think? He's very mathematical too, but I mean, he does very cool, very fast scales in a nice rhythm.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, look at Jimi Hendrix. I mean, he was famous for 2 years, right? In there, out, and then he changed the music, changed the way people looked at guitars.
Well, he
or
played
look at Angus Young,
left-handed, upside down, backwards, and he played one that was on fire.
And look at Angus Young from AC/DC, who doesn't use pedals because he likes to make the guitar and the amp make the sound. I mean, so I mean, you have a lot of just but like Steve Vai is all about pedals. He's got probably 50, 60 of them at his foot. So I mean, it really depends. And if you're using all those electronics, that's my thing. Electronics, all that. If you're using all that, are you really playing? Are you really playing? I mean, you're messing around, but I hate to tell you, a lot of people can pick up those instruments with all those electronics and start messing around, and it'll sound pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't take too much knowledge to make something sound amazing. But then there's players who can just play like the best jams. You know what? I hung out in that rehearsal studio. At the end of the night, all the business was over. People left and whatever. Musicians still hanging out. We all went into the big room, the A room, and we would just jam. And those were the best moments, making original stuff or just messing around or even doing covers. And then everybody in their natural state, no one trying to, use compressors or any of these things like the voice compressors that make these people sing and they sound good, but really they don't. Really, they don't. If you heard them just sing out in the open, you're like, ugh, But when they sing through all these compressors, of course they're going to sound good. Of course they are.
What's your opinion on Prince?
Prince is dead.
Fantastic guitarist.
Died from drug overdose. Man.
Yeah.
Prince was a musician's musician. If you want, like, I'm not talking about his commercial hits. Go and check out Prince. He was one of the most amazing guitarists, probably
very good guitarist.
Maybe the top 12 in the world.
At least
you really listen to him play, and I don't know. There's a long story with Prince, but he can play anything, and when he does, he's like right in there. He's like in the music, you know. So that's what I liked about Prince. He was real,
a very good musician. Yeah, he was
yeah,
very good.
amazing. You just check out his jazz sessions on YouTube, and you'll be just mystified. Just those live sessions and him just jamming with everybody, just so he was so happy to play, you know. I miss him. Miss that guy. I miss Freddie Mercury too. There's like people that you just
miss Freddie Mercury. I'm not a big missing of Prince much, but I do miss Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. Queen.
Okay, I got to show y'all this murder scene. Y'all got to help me find this murderer. Okay, hold on. We got to get this murder scene up here correctly. There it is. This is the murder scene.
Oh
man.
Okay, we all got a good
that screen.
It's not taped off though, so the police haven't been there yet. Eh?
Yes, but this is the murder scene, as we can see. Bits and pieces of its body tore up.
You better take it off and gather that evidence before it gets polluted.
We got to have the evidence. So let's go back
over
to
the pattern of the bite marks in the pink elephant.
Yes, I see that. It's bad. The nose ripped down the side.
Pink elephant. We need to know clues. How old was the pink elephant?
Oh, like 2 days or something.
Okay.
It hasn't been long. She decided, nope, I hate the bitch. I'm going to kill her. And now we got to check out the culprit. Where is the culprit?
Must have challenged her at some point.
My dog used to rip.
Oh, what the hell? Where's the button?
Too much sushi going
Sorry,
on.
guys. I apologize for that. That was disgusting. Okay, going back to the murderer, and there's the murderer.
Look at them eyes.
I mean, roll back in the head, bolting out the side where the vampire got her and shit.
Very, very
for you people.
accomplished looking.
If you're a paranormal researcher, this is a possessed dog.
Possessed.
God, people. What's that, ladies and gentlemen? Marcus, that's my dog. Yes, it's one of my dogs. Yes, she's a demon. Why do you think I call it a demon dog? Look at her. Oh my God! Y'all think I lied to y'all when I call it a demon dog? She is the demon.
What happened to her neck?
Oh, actually, that's what a vampire got her. That's why the scar.
Sure.
And in reality, it's let me scratch myself. To scratch myself. Well, it's gone now. But
gotcha.
And that was only about 3 days ago too. She heals really fast. But she went on a scratching free, and she don't have fleas. I was like, what did you get into? But I got a big 2-acre yard outside, so God knows, could be anything. And Frankie Lee, what do you got for us tonight? Oh, we're all fucking crazy. Well, thank you. We work hard at being crazy. That's a compliment. I hope you weren't thinking you were insulting us.
Join the club.
This is the wrong crew. If you think you was insulting us,
Yeah,
you should glad Leah ain't here. She'd be
Group of
throwing
people
shit
trying
at
to
you.
insult.
Yes. Oh my God. That was that. Yes.
We are the View on steroids, man.
So I told Michelle when I hired Michelle as a station man, just said, if they're not fucking crazy, they can't come on the network. You know that, right, Michelle? And she's like, yeah, I can find them. Don't worry about it. She's been doing a good job lately. Hopefully the rest of the hosts aren't listening tonight. We don't Christopher, what is with these names? Christopher Reed, Christopher Walkins. What are y'all doing in his
CIA? That's what that is.
Room. What do you mean you can't find it? No.
John Doe will be writing.
Don't try to look for gods and extra. You're wasting your time. You'll never find it. YouTube's
Men
not
in
gonna
Black
let you see it.
hanging around.
If you go to the
outside
INT, to International Public Radio, it'll let you listen to us there. You can chat with us there. Yeah, you can throw dog poop and stuff at us. Yes, we don't care. Your arm's not going to reach me, so I'm not going to worry about it.
No, best poop throwing incident I've ever seen. We in 7th grade we went to the Bronx Zoo, a school trip, right? And there was 2 teachers, 2 different classes, and this other guy had it out for me. He hated me, man. The guy would always pick on me and whatever. And then we're outside the monkey cage. This monkey took his poop and just whipped it right at the guy's face. And I called him shit face for the rest of the year, for the rest of the year. And I kept making monkey sounds.
I don't know. I think Rumble does have chat. I don't. We'll have to check. I was told. Michelle says she got
love
chat
monkey.
over there, and I thought I've seen you gotta love monkey. You're right, but
monkey.
Yeah, I think no, but I think they do have chat over there. Yeah, I think they do have chat over there. Yes.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, Rumble has chat. I'm pretty sure.
It's
people can talk about the monkey poop throwing incident.
So Sarah Jane Smith, obviously a Doctor Who fan. Come on, Sarah Jane
Yeah.
Smith. I mean, you're obviously a Doctor Who fan. Wants to know. She asked me first, but we're just going to do this as a group question. What is what do you think the single best alien abduction case is, or proof is? Case or proof? That's the difference.
There's a difference.
There's a big difference. Case, all right, we can go with case. We might talk some proof, but we can go with case. But proof, that's a big difference between proof and case, my friend. That's a whole another bottle of waxy. Who wants to go first?
I'll do it, man. They couldn't abduct me at one
first.
time because I was too big for their ship, and they couldn't get off the ground or something like that, man. And they gave up. A lot of futility going on with aliens, man. They don't have like that stick-to-itiveness that you would think of some people.
He's on better drugs than the rest of us.
That's why they focus on people in Eastern Texas that have no food and they're skinny, and then they kind of scoop them up when they fly away. But here in New York, we like to eat, and we're tall.
Yeah, we're slightly overweight over here on the East Coast from Pennsylvania on.
We got meat and butter. We got meat and butter. We can eat. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's next?
I think my
You're
favorite
gonna go next?
case is the one.
Oh, who's that dude?
I'll do it.
We had him
Hold
on.
on,
As a
Tim
guest.
speaking one at a time.
All right.
Tim speaking.
All
Go ahead, Tim.
right.
All right, so the guy's name is I forget his name now, but they're driving home. I think they're loggers. One guy gets out because he sees a light in the forest.
Travis,
Goes
yeah,
toward
Travis
it, he
Walton.
sucks him.
Travis
There
Walton, yeah.
Travis Walton.
I
The
think
lesbian.
that's my
Travis
favorite
Walton.
one.
It's a good one. Sean, what you think, baby?
Travis Walton, man. We had him.
Oh,
when
two on
Jenny-
Travis Walton.
Well, no, we had him as a guest on Chasing Prophecy, and he was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I know Travis pretty well. I've talked to him on numerous occasions, actually. He's a very, very interesting case. Who's next? Oh, Jay, you're next. No, Jay's next.
It has to be an abductee.
Has to be an abduction case.
No, because I'd have to go with the Hills, but my gut instinct one, I want to say Bob Lazar, even though he's not an abductee.
See, if we were doing evidence, that would be Bob Lazar.
Yeah,
Proof
that's
would go
what.
with
Yeah.
Bob Lazar.
So for an abductee contactee, I'm going with Barney Hill.
Barney Hill's a good case. So is Travis
It's a premier
Walton.
case. I mean,
There may be a little better data for Hill than there is for Travis, but that's only because there was no real hypnosis done on Travis like there was on the Hills. It's on there now. There's also the Cash Landry case where the damn thing melted the highway underneath him and stuff. That's a pretty good case.
That's right.
But in all fairness, I do not think that was aliens. I think that was us because there was chase helicopters involved. So I don't know if this was a spacecraft we were trying to fly or some nuclear-powered shit that we built ourselves. Yeah, because there was a time there, Travis Walton, Stan Friedman and I have talked about this a few times. There was a few times that we were trying to develop nuclear-powered aircraft, and we actually had some. The reason why we didn't go with this is everybody was scared that it would turn every airport into a potential bomb. And a dirty bomb.
Or target for Russia because you think that.
Well, no, they were but anyway, they were just worried about dirty bombs, somebody getting in there and cutting loose everything and letting it. And, it's an airport, so it's going to kill a lot of people when it happens. So they decided not to. But we do know that NASA and a couple other groups, including the space, they wouldn't have been Space Command back then, but the Navy and Air Force were trying to build nuclear-powered spacecraft to get off the planet and go do the things they wanted to do. Because they needed energy. They couldn't carry enough fuel to do the things they wanted to do is what the problem was.
I mean, it's impossible to
And when it gets to let's get our energy from the sun, we're still eons behind in that. I mean, we just don't have enough. Our solar panels just don't absorb enough sun to
we talked about the other night. I didn't get a chance to mention this. You can't store it long enough for it to be useful down the road. Fossil fuels, gas, petroleum products, we can store them indefinitely, and they can, even 10 years down the road, they may have to be reprocessed, but it lasts longer than wood. Your wood pile, you have to replenish your wood pile every year.
It's yeah. So there's
depends what they base their technology, and if it's cold fission or
no.
something
So,
like
so
that.
they figured it out that, let's say like Airbus 622, one of the big planes, they could put a thing about this big in it, and it would power that plane basically for about 5 years. No change in it for about 5 years.
Are we talking converted to a propeller plane then? Because how is nuclear fusion or a nuclear reactor going to fuel 4 or 5 jet engines?
Through hydrogen. And so they had already worked it out. They were doing it. I mean, we had them. We actually had these things flying.
And it's going to burn heavy water. Is that what you're saying?
They had them flying. I'd have to go back and listen to the interviews now, because Stanton Friedman was the one who was breaking the science down, not me. And
we can't talk about it either. He's gone.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but we still have those archives. They're still available, so we can get back in those archives. Yeah. And there is one listed. There's a thing with Stanton. When you hear it, says talking to us about what Stanton did for a living, because he was a nuclear physicist.
Yeah,
he was. Everybody said, "Oh, he was and no, he didn't have a PhD." Everybody always thought he had a PhD, but he didn't. And he always corrected people, and they still always thought he had a PhD. And the only thing him and I ever disagreed on was Betty and Barney Hill. Other than that, we agreed on everything.
Get dirty, man. Look at this guy DeGrasse. I think that he's one of the biggest frauds I've ever seen in my life. If you look at his test scores in college, and is also his IQ levels so
Neil
low.
deGrasse Tyson, but see, he's nobody. See, okay, everybody gets on about Neil deGrasse Tyson. I've interviewed him twice. He's a nice guy, boring as fuck, but he's a nice guy. He doesn't try to sell you. He doesn't try to sell you as I'm Michio Kaku. He tries to sell you that I'm the curator of the science part. Well, now the whole museum now, but he's a curator. He doesn't try to sell you that he's this big bad scientist. And when he does his science show, he always has a comedian on there for comic relief, and he uses other people's science, which I got to give him credit for. He kind of reminds me of who from coast to coast. So I'm not a huge fan. I do like some of the stuff he's done, but I'm not a huge fan. Now, Michio Kaku another time is just rocks. He's insane, son of a bitch.
I'll tell you this, Joe. You know what? And I'm going to say something nice about you, because I think you said, because you guys are on the show, you never say anything nice about me. Yeah, but we all do, because we respect Joe's knowledge. And when people say, if they reference anything, UFO technology or whatever, I'm like, you want to talk to Joe Montaldo? And then Joe has been on Ancient Aliens, and I don't respect the show, but you were like the only person on there that knew what the hell they were talking about. Because
a lot of them, them fuckers.
That George Tsoukalos, this guy go on the Book of Enoch and read all this deep shit into Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch was written during the Second Temple period. They knew nothing about it. They took two sentences out of the Old Testament and built all this stuff around those 2 sentences. Everything in the Book of Enoch is fantasy writing, but people reference it like it's a real document.
Here's a good one. This is a good one. This actually happened on Ancient Aliens. So they did a story on it's either a French or Italian Gothic cathedral church, Catholic church. And they said this church was built in 1300s, 1400s, whatever year it was built. And then they showed the side of it with it had a NASA astronaut floating in space. And they said, look, they predicted NASA floating in space, 400 years before it happened. Well, then a couple of seasons went by and they had another episode and they went back to that exact same church. I don't remember whether it was in France or Italy again, but that exact same Gothic church. And they said, we have to retract the story that this floating spaceman wasn't predicted by this church 40 years ago. It was damaged in a storm, and they did a restoration. And when they did the restoration, they figured, why not pay homage to the young gentlemen who sacrificed their lives in going through the moon? And that was what that was in that panel. And it was the most hilarious thing in my whole life. I was cheering. I was like, you idiot, you got it wrong.
I go to Cornell University a lot whenever they're talking about Mars. I mean, they did the Mars lander, and Cornell was actually responsible for a whole bunch of things, including the Manhattan Project.
Mike, you better watch it. Get Sean's dandruff in a while, man. You better watch it. I'm just warning you. But
when you talk to physicists, the one thing is that They most of them don't think outside the box. Most of them are taught to do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then just kind of go in a straight line and continue other people's work and that type of thing. And when I thought it was important for the kids to learn Chinese, and I had a teacher who was a Cornell. She was a grad student, in physics. And then, of course, I love to grab those people's ear and talk tachyons, and stuff like that. And I said tachyon, she laughed, ha ha ha, no such thing as tachyon, ha ha ha. And I'm like, your country's doomed, you know that, right? If you can't think outside the box and think I'm going to look over here, you'll never find it. Or unless you're just looking to stumble across something. You think Nikola Tesla sat there thinking, I'm going to continue on the path with this stuff. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to look around. I'm going to invent. You know what I mean? So yeah, crazy stuff, man. But look at the Eldridge. We don't talk about the Eldridge. I mean,
I know, yeah, that's a good one.
That was a very real thing that happened. It was a real situation, and that ship did disappear. It did reappear. It disappeared again, and when it reappeared, all the soldiers were fused in the deck or half dead or whatever. That was and that was Einstein and Nikola Tesla working on that. Tesla died that year, right there in the beginning of the year. He was very ill, and he died. He wasn't able to finish his work on the Eldridge, which is probably why it failed. But think about this. That technology is still out there. And that was back a long time ago, 80 years ago, whatever, man. That's a long time ago.
I think was the year of the experiment, and the Eldridge was in Philadelphia Harbor. They turned on the machine, and it wound up. It disappeared and wound up in Newport News, like some 400 miles south.
Yeah.
And then flashed back to Philadelphia, and in the two flashes there, a few crewmen disappeared and went forward into the 1980s, and lived out the rest of their lives from the 80s forward. And
they cut that ship into little
dead
bits,
or was missing and fused with, like you said, fused into the hull of the ship.
They cut that ship into little bits and they dumped it in Greece. It's the same island where they have all these terrible earthquakes, which is, I'm not saying it's related, but I'm saying that's where they dumped the rest. That's where the wreck of the Eldridge is. It's in a restricted area, one of the islands of Greece, but and they have all kinds of issues there. So man, I don't know, but the technology's still out there. It doesn't go away. Plasmoid weapons. Nikola Tesla developed plasmoid weapons. Sent a big giant ball from Long Island to the North Pole, and it blew up like a nuclear bomb. That there was an admiral up there. He said he saw it, and then he said it was just unbelievably powerful with no radiation. But in the 90s we had developed plasmoid weapons. The Russians wanted to work with us on them. We said no because it was our technology, but still that technology is still out there. So there's stuff out there, man, and then all the reverse design. If you catch it, maybe aliens gave them a ship. Maybe who the hell knows? But you need their technology. You need to base it on their technology, not ours. We can't just put a Duracell battery in it and make it work.
This isn't so much this little map up here. It's not so much for us as for some of our worldwide listeners. So this is our SoundCloud thing for the year 2024, all-time list for 2024.
Oh, wow.
Which is a total of 750,480,000. Oh no, that's yeah, okay.
I believe Joe Montaldo when he says Roswell was a craft that we created that crashed, and that's why they were trying to cover it up. It wasn't an alien vessel necessarily.
Yeah, it was either that or an alien vessel we recovered from the Russians. We may have recovered
or Germans.
I think the refined story is that it was an alien craft that the aliens were trying to teach gifted soldiers how to operate mentally, and the experiment failed. But there was also
German scientists.
There's also another revision that the Air Force is trying to punch out that Generals Nathan Twining and Roger Ramey, I think it is. They both say that they tried to make it into a trap and use the new radar to shoot down several UFOs.
No, radar's not going to take down any UFOs. See, I always hated when they said that the radar in space that they have to fly through to get here is far worse than anything we can produce on Earth.
What about the Nazis' connection with those discs, man? I mean,
well, no, we know for sure. No, we know this for sure. We know before World War One, the Germans were given a flying saucer. We know this. The Germans wrote about it. And then they proceeded to build from 1911 to like 1917. They were building flying saucers.
The Battle of 1551 over Nuremberg. A lot of those ships that were supposedly crashed into the ground.
Yeah, but
It's 15, 16 though, or 15. You know,
So that's a whole different thing. So before we even get there, we now know the Germans have a saucer in World War One. World War II, they were using this to try to develop stuff with. Unfortunately, they did. But I mean, the reason the Germans got it, because at the turn of that century, the Germans were far more advanced than anybody else on the planet. They were the leaders in technology, not America,
maybe
not
they were
Russia,
more
not Europe.
The Nuremberg incident, and because there are the Nuremberg incident, there are some. We showed that map or that picture on Wednesday's show. I think it was, and that shows UFOs crashed on the ground at Nuremberg. So. What if Germany had technology from that time frame, from 1500s forward?
Hitler sent people out to recover technology, right? I mean,
even
Bible technology. They were looking.
You're making a big assumption that the aliens let us keep them.
Yes.
So no, that's a bad assumption, because just like we would not let any other body keep any. If an F-22 crashed in Russia, we'd get it back.
Oh, we would try to get it back. Yeah.
Oh no, we wouldn't try. We would get it back. There's not going to be no trying to it. Just like when the Chinese said, we're not going to get, oh yeah, and Bush said, oh yeah, you're going to give us our plane back on our people, or we're going to come fucking take it. Yeah. When you're talking about this kind of technology, it can't be left in your enemy's hands. It just can't be. And we're not considered an enemy, but we're not considered an ally anyway.
Right.
Well, that's what I was saying. So we know that the Germans were given one saucer by the human aliens to the Germans. We know that now because it's in their writings. And worse than that, when you get into if you read the book Mein Kampf, when he starts talking about these angels that are talking to him, these fair-haired, blue-eyed angels that were telling him what to do, he's describing what the Lippians would consider the human-type aliens. That's what he was describing. So, he's describing that in his book. So we know they were in contact with the Germans. The Germans were by far, even at World War II, were still by far the most advanced people on this planet.
They were able to, under under everyone's nose, they were able to build the largest destroyer, the Bismarck, that has ever been floated on the oceans.
And the aliens might have been helping them thinking
it floated out, but they were able to do this when they were restricted in making that kind of a vessel at all. Period.
Yes, and well, the aliens might have helped them too, because they might have thought that they could have been the ones to unite the planet under one government. And then, of course, Hitler went crazy and
his complete insane plan.
Yeah, and then he went crazy, and then it went from there. So then, during the war, we've also got documentation from this. They said there was a disc-like object recovered from Germany when they were bringing the freaking scientists back to Roswell. Yeah. So.
There's also allegedly a crash,
and it's supposed to be the same one. But I gotta be totally honest. When it comes to crashes, I'm probably more skeptical than anybody, because I can't see any advanced alien leaving their shit behind for us.
Same here, really.
I just can't see them doing it. Yeah, unless they're giving it to us, I can't see it being left behind. It's just,
I think it would be hard to crash those things.
Unless it's how they in their eyes make it worthwhile to give it to us. Like, oh, it's crashed. We'll let them recover.
Well, then that's like giving a monkey an M16 without any bullets.
Augie Knox, you know Augie. He's on the show all the time and on everybody's shows. Really, he makes his way around. And he and I were talking about that type of technology. And he said that you would literally have to take the ship and create a gravity bubble around it, and then you'd be able to pretty much move it at unbelievable speeds and whatever. Because of that, but think about the technology. If something crashes, I mean, if these alien ships are going into space and whatever, they're not going to be flimsy junk. It's not going to be the type of stuff that can crash, But I mean, like Joe said, they would get it back. They'd be like, especially a species trying to hide from us, which is hard to do.
Because that's evidence to prove they exist. But think about this. Here's something for all craft UFO pictures have one thing in common. Do y'all know what it is?
What's that?
The craft's intact.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
So which if they were true, if it was true, then more than likely, because I've always believed if you can build a spaceship that can traverse the universe, at speeds that we're talking about, it's not going to break up on impact, especially on soft soil, even soft rock. It's just going to penetrate it as a whole thing and get itself stuck. Well, we know from the one that they described, and not in Roswell, but in what's the other town over there? Aurora. Yeah. So in Aurora, the one that crashed was intact. It was found intact. And that's the one they brought from Germany. It was the same ship. The only thing that crashed on Mac Brazel's ranch was probably an escape pod or maybe a shuttle, but I'm thinking it was an escape pod the way it came down. And it looked like, because it kind of looked like when they show you the debris field, it kind of looks like it maybe it tumbled and spread out as it went along. The fact that any alien lived through that is fucking amazing.
Right? So what ended up in Hangar 18?
The one we stole, the one we took from the Germans, is what ended up in Hangar 18. We tried to fly it, and the Greys helped us try to fly it.
First of all, where is Hangar 18?
It's on a base. Yeah, it's on an Air Force base. It's
at Dayton Air Force Base. The craft at Roswell was deposited within Hangar 84A on the base at Roswell.
That's what Lazar says it is. He says
the Hangar 18 it was a big deal, and then there was a lot of hoopla around that. I mean, you just have to look at the actions around it. I've been a private investigator long enough where if I'm in a situation, you may not even know the truth of the situation, but you can look at the residual effects around it and kind of feel your way through to try to find the right answers, and then that's where it is. It's how people react. What did they do? What was out of the normal, the ordinary, and of course back then everything was national security. So they were very overly sensitive of that, especially with the Russians, during that time and all the other forces against us and us against them. So, but this was something other, and then Operation Paperclip, when they started getting all those Nazi scientists, bringing them over here to the U.S., that all of that kind of happened around the same time, But
Project Saucer, that's when they brought it
over. But an alien ship, you can't just put gasoline in it and start her up. If you've got to be able to match their technology to turn the thing on. Unless
so the saucer at Roswell we're talking about, this is exactly what the nurse and a couple other people who worked there said. They said that the ship sat there intact since the end of World War II. Nobody could even get it to open. It wouldn't do anything. And then one of the Greys who were working with them went in and just put his hand on it, and the damn thing opened up. And the humans got all excited. Let's try to fly it. And, of course, we crashed it. It wasn't anything to do with radar or lighting or anything. It was just simply bad piloting because we didn't know what we were doing. One of the Greys managed to survive it. I don't know why the Greys didn't take over themselves. It never made sense. But then after that, once What's-His-Face died, the Greys didn't bring an expedition back here. They still don't have one back here. They don't trust us anymore. It's they feel like we put their people.
You can't trust humans, man. You can't.
Yeah, so it's that's why when I seen J-Rod, I was so skeptical.
We need an emissary. I choose John Cleese. I think John Cleese is probably one.
Well, right now, an exopolitics piece people want to talk.
I think he's pretty level-minded.
Well, right now, some exopolitics people. That's who they want to talk to.
Can't be Trump.
They want to talk to him.
Trump would end up owning all that shit.
But real quick, let me go through this.
Tariff on him.
The art of the deal.
That's a question. But let me go through this list right quick. So let's see. So what was our number one city last year? Was London.
Wow.
54 million played. Number one city, number one country, the Russian Federation, followed by Israel, followed by the United States, followed by the United Kingdom, followed by the Ukraine. So look, two warring cities, because we both know they were at war last year.
Yeah.
Paranormal entertainment is great. And then, of course, we've got, there's Mexico right there as well. Mexico, you better behave. I'll cut you off, Mexico. You better watch it. Over here, you've got London, Syracuse, New York, Moscow, Mexico City,
Holtzville, Alabama.
Oh, Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Getting
high in Amsterdam. Cool.
Yeah. So there's Ashburn. I mean, look at Rio de Janeiro. Let's go to the Mardi Gras in Rio, baby. Ooh, there's Philadelphia. I know some friends up there in Philly. This is South Korea.
I think that's Turkey.
No, it's Turkey. Yeah, I just recognized it. It is Turkey. Right, I just said it. I looked over and seen Turkey over here.
Vietnam.
Oh, Rio's on here twice. Damn, Rio's a party town. They made it twice on the list with 132 million and 951,000. Victoria. What is Victoria?
Victoria
What is
Seychelles.
this?
British Columbia, probably.
Victoria, is that?
Seychelles.
Victoria, British Columbia.
Yeah.
Is it? Well, we'll look when we go when we get on the countries over there. We'll
Not
know.
with that flag.
There's Frankfurt. There's Buffalo. There's Cheyenne. Ooh, Cheyenne. Is that where Cheyenne Mountain's at? Cairo. Look at Cairo's in there. Cairo with almost 700,000 listeners. So, there's Chicago made the list. Chicago, you bastard! You shouldn't be this
Cheyenne
low.
Mountain, that's NORAD. Man. You got
NORAD.
NORAD.
I don't doubt NORAD's listening to us because they think we're crazy and insane.
Gulf, Maryland.
Look, Hanoi, Vietnam. Oh, yeah, big time. But Ho Chi Minh City. Look at this. These are cities that you would never think would be listening to us.
Right.
And like the North Korean one, you would never think
Thailand,
they would be listening to.
How about Berkeley? I bet Berkeley, you know.
And Bangkok. I listen to Bangkok. Oh, Istanbul, Copenhagen, Miami. Miami, you suck. You best get your ass moving.
Ridley Park.
Where the hell is English Town?
Probably New York.
Frankfurt.
New Jersey.
Okay.
New Jersey.
Ridley Park. I know where that's at. Paris. Paris, you sucky, Paris. Look at me. Oh, you stinky, Paris. I'm just saying. Berlin, you suck too. Lord, look who we got here. Yeah, okay.
Somerset, Pennsylvania.
And here's our and this isn't Allah, by the way. This is just what's on the list right here. Look at this, United Arab Emirates. Yeah, how you like that? United Arab Emirates.
And they should sponsor our show and give us like about 10 million apiece,
or at least give us 10 million barrels of oil each. I'd be happy with that. Naples, Hungary. I must be getting hungry. What is that? Uzbekistan, Bulgaria, Chile.
Really? Wow.
So let me ask you this:
Belgium, Georgia, Italy. I'm listening.
They televise us. They show this in different.
Saudi
countries.
Arabia again. Yeah, they see us in different.
Do they have people translate our what we're saying?
Well, I think I would think, and a lot of times it's going to be like you have in America. It's going to be right below it going by.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's closed captioned in their language.
On the CC.
Yeah.
It'll be CC.
We're not important enough yet to get voiced. Let us double our audiences, and then we can probably get voiced. Japan, Hong Kong. Hong Kong is not supposed to be a separate country. It's supposed to be China, people. China, somebody's fucking up. Japan, Hong Kong, Romania, South Korea, Kazakhstan, what is it? Serbia. Sorry, I was going to say Siberia. That's Serbia.
Our little brothers, our little
Canada.
Canada, boo, boo, Canada, boo. Boo, Canada. Ecuador, Pakistan.
We have some brothers
out of way down on the list. Even though our manager lives there, she's way down on the list. We got to work on that. Pakistan, South Africa. Right, South Africa shouldn't be beating Canada.
Canada should be northern.
Cambodia. Cambodia. Awesome, man. I will Cambodia. Awesome.
Hey,
Denmark,
Mike,
there you go.
Show start, buddy.
Huh? What?
What time's your show start?
Tomorrow sometime.
10:00.
In the morning.
Around 10 something. Whenever this is done.
Yeah, whenever we get done, that's when he starts. Bangladesh, Philippines, Colombia, Slovakia. It sounds like a vodka or something.
Of course, Michael Englund
Singapore, France, Egypt. See, these are all cool countries. Just know we're all over the Middle East like this makes me happy. And then Argentina, Czech Republic, India. Look at India. Look at India. Over 1 million people listen to us in India this year.
If I could wear a sheet and have a harem and live in a tent, I would do it, man. I would do it.
Yeah.
Thailand. Look at Vietnam, man. Vietnam's up there. Indonesia, Turkey, Spain. Look at Spain. Hey, Spain, we love you. You got some sexy people.
Deutschland, 3.5 million.
Look at Germany, man. Poland, Brazil. Oh, Brazil.
I think the Germans can help us with this UFO.
Netherlands. What the hell country is this?
Seychelles.
So that's whatever that city was down here. What was that city we seen there?
Victoria
is in Seychelles.
Seychelles.
Seychelles. Whatever the hell you call it. Sounds like
Seychelles.
It's Seychelles.
And then wait, where were we? Okay, Mexico, Ukraine, and there we are. We're back to the top with the Russian Federation kicking everyone's ass.
The Russian Federation, wow, topped us. That's
amazing.
Thanks for listening, guys.
For now.
Yeah.
Seychelles.
So that was last year's, and that's not our best year. Last year kind of sucked towards the end. So on SoundCloud, not on the live service.
Long Island strong.
The live servers are doing really well right now, so I'm happy with them.
Yeah,
Just
but
to
I mean,
check
300 million for one country. That's, I mean, and like Russia, that's like,
that's
wow.
archives too.
Yeah,
The Russians are suffering, man.
Now, if I do the all time for the 4 years that we've been there, it's going to be it's going to probably be 3 or 4, at least 2.5 billion. And America still will not be first. We'll still be like fourth, but Russia won't be.
They lost a lot of men, all the soldiers, man.
But we got a lot of fun. And what I didn't see on them, we got a lot of fun in China, so it was kind of weird not seeing them on the list. Usually, you see China as second or third, so maybe they're sucking right now.
China.
For China,
China.
I'm going to for China. Hey, I got a lot of Chinese friends. So I'm not picking for China. Where do you live? I live in for China in Hong Kong. What's a for China? Well, take a look and find out.
Yeah, Xi Jinping. Called Winnie the Pooh.
Insane show. Yeah. People ask me, "You have fun?" Yeah, it's insane, man. You come listen. No, I'm scared. What do you mean you're scared?
Oh,
I go to bed too early. I go to bed.
We're not all the same place.
Your asshole, you.
I gotta go, guys.
That yawn and shit. That church against the law is yawn.
Actually,
Dexter. Well, we're gonna let. Dexter's got to go. We got to wrap up anyway because we got to let you have the air here soon. But,
Tim's got to go too.
Dexter's going. Dexter said he's going to carve up an Easter bunny, so I don't know what that's about. Tim, thanks for stopping by, babe.
Yeah, I'll tell you all about it.
No problem, man.
Sean, if you need anything, holler at me, babe. We're gonna let Mickey.
Oh, hey.
Mickey D's What?
Jay, can you send me your email real quick over the private?
Yeah, in the private chat.
Private, yeah. No, send it out to the world, Jay. These people love you. They want to write to you and say how they love you.
I have enough time getting through the fan mail that goes through this.
Look at that, people. I want chocolate. First, people, I want you to make donations to the network, and secondly, I want chocolate. I don't care what country you live in. I want chocolate. Yeah, well, Amelia sends me some, but she's on strike right now.
Not
so
American
chocolate.
Here it is, Tim.
If you live in the Netherlands, send some chocolate from up there somewhere.
German chocolate.
Oh, Belgium.
German chocolate.
Belgium, send me
Belgium chocolate. I can go for that. I'm easy, man. Send me some chocolate.
That's excellent stuff.
Don't piss me off. I will put a spell on your ass. As it is, I'm fixing to break out these old CAD cards that I used to do shit with in the back in the day. Hopefully, guys, next week we might be on TikTok, so keep your fingers crossed on that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, what's the story with that, by the way?
Sean's getting married and having babies.
The alien probes have finally taken effect, and he is now.
Well, TikTok said we can have a stream key. I just haven't had the time to sit down and look through it and find the stream key and add it to StreamYard and see how it's going to work. I'm scared it's going to work like Rumble. So I may have to have a station meeting and discuss how we're going to do these in the near future. And then, and that's the other thing. As soon as I can get a little time, I got to sit down with the TV company. They want to make a counter offer because we're getting ready to leave to another company. We're going to leave in January, and then they made a counter. And then we're going to leave on the 1st of February, and they made another counter. So the other company made a counter offer. So these guys are, hopefully they'll get, all I'm after right now. So I told the company we're with right now, give me Roku and give me Amazon for the same price and put our thing back up. The problem is, the reason I'm really not missing the archive thing is because they only ever gave us 500 gigs, and 500 gigs in this network's not shit in video. I mean, we do that in 2 weeks, man, and it's filled up. And then I got to remember to go rotate stuff, and it's a big pain in the ass. So I've been liking it like this, but if we get the other one back, they said they'll bump us to 1,000 gigs, and that'll give us a little bit more free time, and then they have the pay-per-view features. We want to start adding them when we do investigations or go places. Excuse me. Go places. We may even put some pay-for-listen only shows back on the network. Yeah. That's what the gray zone is. You can't get it unless you pay for it. Yeah, I mean, there's no way to listen to that show without paying for it. And it was a very popular show, too. That was the best part about it. But thanks to YouTube, it was doing well on YouTube. It was just starting to make some money because it was always free as live. But if you wanted to hear it again, it was always a pay for. And then it started making money on YouTube, and then YouTube said, "Oh, guess what? Bend over. Let me give you the probe, asshole."
Mm-hmm.
Like they always do. But Mike, you know how to work everything? You good with everything? You got your show set up?
I don't remember.
Oh, Jay, you got to teach this guy what to do, man.
Is it all set up? Should I just go in and hit
I don't know. You have to ask Michelle that. I don't know. I don't do that shit. Michelle does that. Hold on, let me go look and see. Where is Stream?
How long am I on for?
Jay.
Jay knows how to do it.
I'm on till what time?
Take an hour and a half. Right now, it doesn't really matter because there's nobody following you except for Scott Bakula, so it's not a big deal.
So it's whenever I run out of gas.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got you listed as an hour, but you know, if you
an hour is replayable, though. You know what I mean?
An hour. But I mean, like I said. Okay, no, I don't see it on here. So you're gonna do it for me, Jay?
I gotta make promo.
I don't see one on there, so I'm gonna start.
Yeah, I gotta make promo.
All right, go ahead. So Jay's gonna give you a quick run through on how everything works, and just remember to hit end at the end. You know, because if you don't end, it'll only go for 5 hours, but you don't want a 5-hour archive. Trust me.
Me talking to my cat.
No, I mean, after you leave, it'd still be on.
You hear,
that's what you do. That's what you hear.
Hear me talking to the cat all night long.
Who is the sexy beast man? That would be me. Thank you very much.
The beast.
And who told you that? Oh, that's because I'm talking to your buddy. That's why I know who you are. Yeah, you gave yourself away when you said that because I just told somebody that. Yes. What do you mean we need another late night show?
Got one.
Then you give me a topic because News on the Flip Side's out of control as it is, even though it's a good show, and this one's completely out of show. And Mike's going to be on late. And you already know he's going to be out of control. So give me an in control show. How's that?
I've been holding it all in for the last
yeah, Jared, I remember you. So I remember that the four of y'all want to get together and discuss sex positions from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Okay, it's not. You got it. I don't give a fuck what time it is. That's a paid for gig there. Right now, since you're not a member of the network, the minimum cost slot you can get is $500 a month. That's minimum. If you want and since you want to talk those subject matters, you can't get anything before 1 a.m. or after 5 a.m. And it still has to be cleared by the big boss. I am the owner, but she is the boss. Because I don't deal with
cats you can pick up, man. My cat hates that shit. He goes dead weight. I pick him up. He's like the worst thing in the world just happened.
I gotta go, guys. All right. I'll see you all soon.
Be good, ladies and gentlemen. Jay, you got this under control. I'm going to find. I got to go make a call right quick because my phone's been blinking for the last 40 minutes.
Still live.
Thanks, man. I don't know who's. Every time I look down, it's blinking at me. I'm like, who the fuck is? Everybody and Mama knows I do live. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we love y'all. We think y'all are all great. We think you're the beautiful audience in the world.
I said, no, hey, Blinken.
Yes, but we got to go. Sorry, we were chit-chatting amongst ourselves there while we were still alive. Heidi, thanks for stopping in and hanging out with the boys.
Yep, thanks, Heidi.
I guess Leah was off. We got to get us at least one more female host with us. Ginger, you couldn't host with the boys. I'm sorry, baby. No,
somebody that could keep pace, that knows what they're talking about.
You're too sweet, and you don't like politics, and we do cross politics a lot.
C.L. Thomas promised to make our show R-rated at least with her curse words, and I was like, "Hey, come on, bring it in. It's already an R-rated show."
Oh, she'll show up one of these days and come hang out with. She likes hanging out with the boys. It's just getting used to us. And if you're a regular on the network, you know. Good night, everybody, and please stay tuned to United Public Radio and Michael Angley Live. Just